I know how to push your buttons now, so I can get my way. Yeah. And I know which words will cut the most, and how to turn and make you stay. And in one split second, you can barely catch your breath, and you know that we'll never be perfect. It's easy to forget. Happiness needs pain, like the ground needs rain, and fire breathes flame like I need you. Victory needs a fight, like the dark bleeds light, and wrong craves right like I need you. So wrap your arms around me now, with all your hopes and all your doubts, like you need me. And tell me now that it's all worth it. I don't care if we're not perfect, I wouldn't change a thing. If it was all or nothing, then I would want it all. Happiness needs pain, like the ground needs rain, and fire breathes flame like I need you. Victory needs a fight, like the dark bleeds light, and wrong craves right like I need you. Like I need you. Like I need you. Like I need you. I lived a life without a meaning. I lived a life without sense. But once you've opened up my eyes, I started healing, and made me find another chance. So I tried to survive all the pain inside my mind, but only God knows how to leave it all behind. We were bound at the start, now you're tearing me apart, and I'm the one to start the fight from once upon a time. Will I just keep floating away from this world? Pick me up, give me hope, let me say one more word. Heaven's so far away tonight, but where the water meets the sky, we'll be alright. The world we left behind. The world we knew just started changing. The world we had just broke apart. We were bound at the start, now you're tearing me apart, and I'm the one to start the fight from once upon a time. Will I just keep floating away from this world? Pick me up, give me hope, let me say one more word. Heaven's so far away tonight, but where the water meets the sky, we'll be alright. The world we left behind. Heaven's so another story, something to get off my chest. My life gets kinda boring, need something that I can confess. Till all my sleeves are stained red from all the truth that I said. Come by it honestly, I swear. Thought you saw me wink, no, I've been on a brink. So tell me what you want to hear, something that'll light those ears. Sick of all the hesitancy, I'm gonna give all my secrets away. It's time, don't need another perfect life. Don't care if critics ever jump the line. I'm gonna give all my secrets away. I'm gonna give all my secrets away. My God, amazing how we got this far. It's like we're chasing all those stars. Who's driving shiny big black cars? And every day I see the news, all the problems that we could solve. And when a situation rises, just write it into an album, send it straight to gold. I don't really like my flow, no, so tell me what you want to hear, something that'll light those ears. Sick of all the hesitancy, I'm gonna give all my secrets away. It's time, don't need another perfect life. Don't care if critics ever jump the line. I'm gonna give all my secrets away. I'm gonna give all my secrets away. Got no reason, got no shame, got no family I can't blame. Just don't let me disappear, I'ma tell you everything.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Frost Esports Whiteout Valorant tournament, brought to you by a trio. I'm joined by Happiness. I'm Starcoin Hero. Happy, how we doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing wonderful, doing fantastic. It's set to be a fantastic tournament ahead of us. For the night, we start the night with our semifinal, and then just afterwards, we'll be getting into the grand final. First one, a best of one, coming up in just a few short minutes. And then we've got the grand final, a full best of three. So it's going to be an exciting night full of Valorant for everyone who's tuned in. Incredibly excited to start here. Star, hopefully you can say the same.
Absolutely, I can say the same. For the first match of the night, we got Team BIYJ versus the Toxic Tinas. And both of these teams have had a pretty good run through. It's all been best of one, so they are obviously undefeated. But Toxic Teen is defeating a couple teams such as SFU Esports White, as well as the Heartbreakers on their way up here. And BIYJ beating Frost Esports. You might know that name from somewhere. I don't know where, but yeah, they've had quite a difficult run up the bracket, and they all meet up here, one round away from the grand finals. So this match means a lot.
Oh yeah, it's safe to say this match is going to be incredibly important. Obviously, you're fighting for a spot in that grand final. For those of you who are not informed, it's a $100 on the line across this Whiteout Weekly. $70 goes to the winner. $30 still goes to that second place team. So, winner of this has locked in at least $30, if not 70 if they're able to win that grand final. But in the past, we've normally seen teams get into that grand final, and the grand finals that I've casted at least have usually been a little bit more one-sided than ever. So I'm hoping that we can go the distance and I can see my first full best of three on the Frost Esports Whiteout Weekly that I've seen. But I've only casted a couple of these, and there have been plenty. So without a doubt, there have been plenty of competitive tournaments. And here's to hoping that this one's going to be a competitive match. As it's Icebox is the map we're going to between our first two teams of the night in this semifinal. So I'm excited.
That we are. And of course, everybody wants it to go the distance. We all want to see it go to game 3 in that grand finals. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We got a best of 1 on our hands. So these next 24 possible rounds, or maybe even a little bit more with overtime, is going to decide who is going home with the 4th and 3rd place finish, or will get a share of that prize pool. But I believe without further ado, Happy, are we ready? I think we're ready.
I'm ready to go. I don't know about
I'm
you.
ready to
I'm
go.
incredibly excited because all the Icebox matches that I've casted in my time, they're always pretty fun to watch, and especially towards that B site, there's a lot of or A site. I'm forgetting which one's which, but there's a lot of open area to work with on Icebox, but at the same time, there's also a lot of close angles, so the anti-ecos can be incredibly effective. Not to mention, sick plays with from long range as well, with nice flicks and clutch opportunities and whatnot. So there's a little bit of everything on Icebox. And I know some people have said it's not their favorite map, but at least for watching and casting, I always have a good time when we come to Icebox as we're into the agent select already. Some locks on the one side.
And a couple of locks that I'm not too surprised by. Of course, the Chamber and Jet; those are absolute locks for Icebox, as well as the Viper on like a Viper from Double OC as well. A Viper and a Jet on both of these sides. We got that Chamber being hovered as well. The Sova does not surprise me either. All of these are very strong picks on a map like Icebox. If things stay how they are now, then we're going to have a pretty solid comp on both of these sides, and that's just going to make the match even better.
Yeah, it looks to be right now almost mirror comps on both sides, except the Rays being swapped out for the KO when you compare that attacking side to defenders instead. So you're going to have a little bit more entry potential, I suppose, with that Rays, but really noticeably not too many flashes, not really any flashbangs on that attacking side. So from that perspective, it could be a little bit lacking, but the blast backs can definitely make up for that and create dynamic entries out of absolutely nowhere as we get into our first round on the Icebox. It's pistols, of course.
It is, and it will be Team BYOJ starting off on the attack. So they're going to have to show their aggression early on. And of course, this is the pistol round. Pistol rounds on Icebox can go either way. I know one of the most common strategies for pistol rounds is to just get that spike down, let the attacking side get that spike down, and then just sage wall right in front of it, because there's no way the pistol can break it. But we do not have a sage here, so that strat is not going to happen this time. But there's still a whole lot of strats that can be worked into this map. There's a ton of crevices, and there's also a ton of wide open spots as well. Like you said, it is a very styled map, because one side's very wide open, meanwhile the other is very short and very angular, and you have to really work your way around these angles in these corners. Here we see the action started. The Jet battle is won by Kiko. Double OC taking down JoJo as the retake coming in. So far, the defense holding on to the site pretty well, leaving it all up to the Chamber. It's on my way. One more bullet in the Headhunter. Looks away at just the wrong second, and he's forced to clutch a 1 versus 3 here. 60 seconds to go. Spike is down in a very unfavorable position. Gonna get the kill onto Remy, though. It's gonna make this a little bit more doable. That recon dart's gonna spot him out, though, and it's not doing him any justice. Ooh, dinked through the box. 3 HP. This round is all but over, and there's Kiko. 3rd kill on the round, and that's the first round going to the defense.
Yeah, a great job from the defensive side. Able to just win that pretty cleanly. Great job to Kiko as well. Needs to be mentioned that 3K, able to pick up the Sheriff at the very end as well. So doesn't really need to spend too much at all into this next round. Just going to run the Sheriff with light into our second round, making sure they have that money saved up to get that op in round number 3. The operator, of course, on that jet and on that chamber is incredibly influential. So potential for double op setups, considering the agents selected on both sides here. Instead, it's Bubbles, the chamber for the defenders, is going to be running the Marshall down B long, but instead it's another A push for the attacking side.
That does not surprise me one bit whenever you are on these save rounds. The closer range weapons are definitely a little bit better on a save round, especially if you're pushing the A site, because it's very close counters and very close encounters galore basically on the A site. But even with all of the close encounters, it's just not enough to take down the defense on the anti-eco. And that will be Leica with the final kill, a 3K for them in the second round.
Yeah, and we're seeing such a fantastic start on the defensive side. Of course, that round, after the winning in the first one, it feels like it's a little bit of a given for the defenders to win that kind of a round, especially considering, you know, if you're on attack, you lose that round 1, you choose not to buy up round number 2. Don't stand too much of a chance in that second round, especially not with the way the defenders can be favored sometimes and with the weapons between both teams, but does not work out there. Defender's able to get yet more as we get into round number 3, but this time around, it's actually full Vandals for the attack, so hopefully it'll go better.
Full Vandals, 3 with full armor, 3 with light, so got a pretty good shot at winning this round, as of course the defense is on a save. But if Bubbles can put that headhunter to good work, that's going to shut the push right down, and now it is all on Unstable. He's got a Vandal, he's got 150, but is this good?
Stay down.
Ooh. A 1 kill there for Unstable, though, so still a shot in the round for the Sova, and they're flashing the wrong direction. They have the crossfire set up, and he's able to get the next one, but not quite getting the third. Jojo with a really well-timed swing, and the KO does get that final kill. Great round at the end there, especially Jojo winning out that 1v1. And it's such a good round at the very end there. Still 3 rounds consecutive for the defensive side. And even though it was full Vandals, that round for the attack, still not able to get anything.
And now it is Team BIYJ. That's in a little bit of trouble now. Team BIYJ, Team Jaws, whatever you want to call them. They're in a little bit of trouble now, as of course they did drop the bonus round, which is a round that you should not be dropping. You have the guns advantage. You also probably have the health advantage. You just really do not want to be dropping it, but things happen and they did, and now Kiko on the defense has an op, and he's looking to make this 3-round lead a 4-round lead if they give him a shot.
Hasn't been given an opportunity yet, though. Nobody boosted up towards this A site. It's an A push straight from the low ground, as Aku does get caught immediately, so has given away that this push is towards A, so if things weren't looking too good coming into this round for Jaws, they're not looking much better now, as Kiko going to try to fall back a little bit. Able to get that next kill on a double OC. He was able to get 1, but Kiko, with such a good round, does get traded out, though, by the Sheriff for Unstable. So Jaws still going to make this a round, and the Headhunter able to get 1 as well for On My Way. Can't get the next kill, though, so it's just Unstable trying to work back. 40 seconds left, and this could be a clutch for the Sova. Does spot out Remy, but can't get that shot. Has given away the position. No spike either, so this will be tough.
That it will be, and you have at least 1 gun shooting on you. Whoa. He manages to find the first, but Remy is just too strong, and he gets away with the op. That is 4 going to the defense.
What a close. I mean, it was so close. That was just frames away from a clutch off of 2 clean Sheriff headshots there for Unstable, but unfortunately not quite able to hit that second one. Just tagged in the shoulder, it looked like, compared to the head there where he needed to get it to. But that is all the difference that is necessary between rounds, is you can get as close as you want, but not close enough in that situation. Still 4 straight rounds for the Toxic Tinas, and Bandit is going to make this one a decent start, but the Tinas will not let that go untraded. Leica able to take it back. So Jet down on the attacking side. Well, the Sova down on the defensive side instead. On My Way, trying to push forward and make a difference. Can't quite, though.
There's another trade off. It's Bubbles taking down the opposing chamber, but there's Unstable with the kill on JoJo. OC. He's got the info, and he heard the footsteps coming. And now it is Team BIYJ with the one-man advantage. And these two players are spread out very far. Looks like A site is where Team Jaws wants to go. Raze, of course, pushing first. That is Aku. Raze sees Kiko, gets the kill, and now it is all on Bubbles to save their 4-0 start. Let's be 4-1. Aku swings, gets the intel, but neither of them land the shot. There's Unstable peeking, and Unstable just a little bit better with a shot. And BM! Hold on, Unstable. That is BM. I get you got around, but come on, man. You're still down.
You're still down by 3. You didn't. That was your first one. You finally win one. Maybe it's gone to their head. So could just be motivation for the Toxic Tinas. So who knows? Maybe towards the end it'll end up helping out Toxic Tinas in the end. But for now, Jaws able to get that one. Still gonna make a difference though, because although it is just one on the side of the defense, Toxic Tinas really not buying up too much here. A couple of sheriffs, a phantom with light, and then one classic with heavy, and then one sheriff has heavy as well. So it's a little bit here and there, but for now it looks like a much better buy on the side of Jaws. Will being on that defensive side be enough to win this out? It looked like it was an A stack off rip for Toxic Tinas, but to switch off the A site. Leica, though, on the flank could go huge. Not able to get the first shot, though. Bandit's clean. That's an opening towards the A site, or the B site, rather. And it's perfect for Jaws, at least so far.
That it is. And, of course, there is Bubbles with the tour, the force ult. They've got the first. They're going to look for the second, but On My Way is just better on the shot. 3 versus 4 in favor of Team Jaws. Aku makes it 4 versus 2. OC is going to get that spike down, and now it's Kiko with a sheriff looking to find a shot. He does not hit it. On My Way misses the operator shot. This might be doable. JoJo, of course, has a Vandal, and he's going to be leading the charge. He's looking the wrong way. They've got a crossfire over the bridge, and it's going to be Team Jaws finding their second round in a row.
Great round there for Team Jaws as well. Just doing exactly what they need to do. Calling out early, that's a stack on A. We don't want to push that. Instead, going to rotate back towards that B site, especially after you get that first kill. Also, great awareness on part of Bandit, able to take down Leica very quickly, because Leica had that flank. It could have been huge, but shutting that down quickly gives the advantage, and also gives an opening towards B, especially when after they already knew that it was a stack on the A site. So they could just run it straight in, get that spike plant down basically for free. And because they've got significantly better weapons, it's really not much of a contest in that retake. You really needed a miracle, like a sheriff winning a fight, peeking into an operator, which, well, you don't see that every day, and it's for a reason. Good, ooh, missed shot there on the op early from Kiko, trying to run away, but Bandit chases them down straight into the A site. Is Unstable able to get one more. This is such a good start.
That it is, but Bandit getting a little bit too greedy, and Remy punishes him for it. Spike will go down, but I believe the shock dart will connect. It's going to be a 3 versus 2 retake on the side of Toxic Tinas. This is definitely doable, especially if Team Jaws are going to keep stacking up like this. There's nothing, and there's no one really watching up top for Raptors. There's Bubbles taking the kill. Unstable swings around, and that's through the smoke. And now it's all on Leica to try to save this retake. Turns the 1v3 into a 1 versus 2, but OC takes him down from Nest. And now, Team Jaws have brought this to a 1-round deficit.
Yeah, and it's not just been off of anti-ecos, it's been off of actually outright winning these gun rounds. They've got only 1 round in the past 3 that was into an anti-eco. This next one coming up is also going to be into a weakened buy from the defending side. So the Toxic Tinas might just have to forfeit a 4th here, but it's still a really solid buy in the last round and in that first round that Jaws were able to win. So it's been consistently solid buys on the defensive side, but just Jaws playing like the better squad, at least for the time being. Leica going to try and play quick into mid. It's just very aggressive here from the defenders, trying to make up for the lack of weaponry, but it hasn't worked so far, and Remy is able to get one. Doesn't look too good, but Kiko knives out, baby, gets another one, and that's the advantage now to this side of Jaws. So forget what I was saying, or the side of Toxic Tinas. So forget what I was saying. They've got a solid shot going into this, even though they've got the weakened weaponry. Vandal picked up for Kiko as well. So this isn't as much of an advantage as it may seem considering the weapons.
I know Aku is going to be kicking himself for that, and there's Bubbles with the timing of the century. 4 versus 2 now for Toxic Tina's, and this might just be the round that they can regain off of. The Viper Wall is running out, and OOC's life has run out as well. Kiko finds a double, and now for the first time in quite a while, Toxic Tina's win a round again.
Yeah, and that's about as thrifty's come. You had a couple of sheriffs going into it, and, well, notably, Kiko had a knife, so clearly that was more than enough to take this one, able to get that 1 kill, and Kiko did double up at the very end there as well. So the Jet has been crucial for the success of Toxic Teenage so far, able to get them their 5th round, keep them at an advantage. They haven't been tied yet through this game so far since, well, being tied at 0-0, obviously, but ever since then, it has been a very, very good map. And they lost a few in there, but now we're going to see a full buy on both sides. And funnily enough, both sides not in fantastic spots economically, so this is going to be a huge pivotal round because the winner of this one might be able to win 2 or 3 more off the back of it.
Absolutely. And of course, let's not forget, this is round number 9. So we're getting into the last few rounds of the half. So this round is even more important than you would think, because this round will most likely determine the winner of the next couple of rounds as well. And when you're this close to halftime, then you might just be going into half with a lead. And there's Leica winning the first gunfight, putting Toxic Tina's at a 1-man advantage, but not for long. There's Bandit with the Vandal out shooting JoJo and takes him down. That's also going to give not the Tina's, but Team Jaws free use over their utility. There's OOC popping the Viper's pit. Kiko getting the headshot onto Unstable. This is a 4 versus 2. However, the Viper's pit is not doing them any justice. OOC gets one, but not before falling to Remy. It's all on Bandit, and Bubbles shoots him in the chest with the op. And just like that, Toxic Tina is halfway to match point already.
Couldn't help but notice at the very start of that round there, it was a strange decision from On My Way, going up tunnel, takes out the Headhunter instead of running the tour de force, peeking into that long angle. Did actually land that first shot with the Headhunter, but because it wasn't a headshot, wasn't able to get that kill, gives that first kill over to Leica, and eventually it's that round as a whole going over to the Toxic Tinas. But if you look at that from the perspective of maybe On My Way has that tour de force out, able to get that first kill perhaps, you can't help but think that down a long, narrow hallway, the tour de force is pretty tough to beat in a gunfight, especially considering On My Way was able to land the first shot with the Headhunter, so that would have been a 5v3 advantage for Jaws and a pretty solid start of the round. But alas, it's not meant to be. Is 5 enemies detected towards this A site. Nothing else they can really do but run straight through. But Jaws actually doing a good job running straight through, able to get the first kill on the Kiko. That's pivotal.
That it is, but that was the strength of the KO, like I was talking about. Of course, with the defense, losing that KO in that last round, that was huge. They managed to survive it, though, but it could have been huge. Out comes the Hunter's Fury, but it just leads Bandit into a double kill. Now with the 4 versus 2, down goes Leica, and now it's all on Remy. Remy trying to find one, but the shots are just not landing. And that's going to be Team Jaws taking this round off of Remy's Hunter's Fury. There was no way that Bandit was pushing unless he got ulted, and he happened to get a 2K off of it.
Yeah, you don't want to say that was a bad ulti because it was able to do some damage, to detect some members of Jaws on this site, but no, it prompted Bandit to go for something crazy, and something crazy was exactly what the doctor ordered there for Jaws. Fantastic play from Bandit with the knives out. Great double kill there as well. They kind of just lined up for him, not anticipating that swing. Maybe should have been more prepared for it off the back of the Hunter's Fury, as we're going to see same kind of detection there early on for the KO. JoJo able to spot a couple moving into this A site once again, but they don't rush it out. And Leica able to get the first kill into On My Way off the A site, so hasn't given away too much for the KO there. Kiko almost able to get that kill early, but not able to make it work. Bladestorm still has one left, wanted the one tap, but instead got tapped himself. Bandit is the better Jet in that gunfight. 6-4 advantage to Toxic Tina's, but Jaws looking to make that 6-5 and 4-4 around in terms of man count.
And 60 seconds to go. So there's still quite a bit of time for Team Jaws to rotate if they want to. But it looks like they're just going to push right on up through the trenches. Unsable's going to get the spike down unless he gets shock darted. Or he's not going to get shock darted. He's going to get fragmented. Jojo using that molly to great effect. And that's going to put this round in favor of Toxic Tina's. There's Aku taking down Jojo. But Remy with the kill onto Bandit. And then Aku. Remy finds another. And Remy, 3 kills on the round, secures the round and secures 7 on the half.
Yes, we've hit the last round before they swap, and it's been a great half so far for Toxic Tina's. At times they've looked a little bit shaky, but overall doing a great job establishing that dominance early on, and then after a few rounds lost in the middle, they've done a great job taking it back, just taking a little bit of a step back and saying, you know what, this is all we got to do. We know what we have to do. We know what we need to do to get the W's, and well, they've done a great job just defending its constant A pushes for Jaws. I'm wondering if it's obviously, A is typically the meta that teams go for when attacking on Icebox, but it hasn't been working super well here for Jaws. But they're going to go for it again into this final round. Bandit just rushing straight through, almost catches Leica. Instead, Leica catches Bandit underneath. Not to mention the Raze ulti straight through. Aku with 2, a third with the Sheriff. What a Raze! Unstable trying to get some down with the Hunter's Fury on the back end of it, though. Does mean Kiko able to get 2 back in return. So, huge standout performances from both Kiko and Aku. But now we've just been left in a 2 versus 2. Swing into Kiko, able to get 1 more and dash away on top of it. But the Boombot does get that back. Almost an ace for Aku. But Bubbles wins that gunfight at the end. So close. But again, Toxic Tina's take another. They get an 8-4 lead at halftime.
Wow, what a last round. That was unreal. We saw great plays by everyone. Of course, let's start it off. I believe it was Double OC getting the kill onto the charging jet. And then that ult play, that double ult play with the Hunter's Fury on top of the Showstopper. Absolutely incredible, perfect synergy between those 2 players. But in the end, it didn't matter because Kiko kind of popped off. And then there was just a one-on-one. And he was just not good enough.
It was unfortunate there at the end for Aku. Did about as much as you can do in a round without literally winning it on your own. Again, that 4K with damage on the last player. Literally just about as much as you could do in a round that you end up losing where they're not running a Sage and they don't get like some kind of resurrect play is already seeing pushed towards the B side. But a little bit of a change of pace here for the offensive side because it's a different offensive team. And well, it's the same Kiko in spite of being on a different side. 2 kills off they start. And well, K or an H, either way, it's a fantastic player. Kiko looking like Kiko out there, but does go down just afterwards. So 3 versus 3. Spike planted though for the offensive side of Tina's.
One thing I am noticing on the offensive side, Team Jaws were getting really aggressive, and there were some times it cost them a couple of rounds. They swung out a little bit too far, and they got picked off. I'm just wondering if that will happen on the defending side as well. Only time will tell. Also, we are in the second half, and chat, who's winning this game? We want to see it. Team Jaws, Team Tina's. You see Bandit getting the defuse. It does look like Team Jaws is going to be winning this first round, or maybe not. Maybe Leica is just going to swing all the way through, get a double kill, can't secure the third, and will not secure the round. It's going to be Team Jaws surviving the first round of the second half.
They did such a fantastic job there at the very end, just barely being able to close it out. But, I mean, what a fantastic play from Leica as well, able to get the double headshots, nearly pulling it back, but still will remain on that 8 for Toxic Tina's at the start of the second half. Jaws do prevail in that pistol, and they do a pretty good job at it. Again, a little closer than you would have liked, considering Leica at the very end, but Bandit is able to steal that one away. So 8-5. Jaws look to be starting off the defensive side pretty well, and maybe it was just a difference of halves. Aku going to continue to start off this defensive side well. Gets the first one with the Spectre. Is traded out though by Remy, and then Bandit going to make it even more. So advantage only for now towards the defense.
Here's Remy stuck between a rock and a hard place. Bandit somehow makes his way out of that situation alive. Happiness, I'm here. I'm here with you.
How do you get away with that?
I have
What's
no
that?
idea. I
I
don't know.
mean,
I don't know.
I
I
know
don't
he's
know.
named
We're
Bandit,
not
but that
talking.
is
We're not going
highway
to talk about it. We're
robbery on
not going
that
to talk
side.
about it. We're not going to
Okay.
talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to move past it because if we do, we're going to
All
be
right.
here for an hour.
All right. Yeah. That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
So
We'll just go past it.
8-6 after the end of that round was a little bit of a blur, and I don't quite know what happened. But again, not talking about it. So 8-6, still really good side so far from Jaws defense. Proving to be much better for them. Bubbles though is able to get this first one really, really quickly. Toxic Tinas start off the round well with JoJo able to get into the action as well. Aku down. That raise has been so crucial so many different times for this defender side, not just on the defensive side, obviously, through the attacking half as well. Aku having such a great game so far for Jaws, but going to be disabled for the rest of this round. Minute 10 left and plenty of time for Toxic Tinas to try and figure out where the attack is going, and plenty of time to actually make it work.
Oxytinas looks like they have chosen B side, but there's still enough time to rotate back, but they don't want to do that. They've already made themselves a little home behind the big yellow box. And it looks like this spike will be going down very soon. Very aggressive plant position for Bubbles. Look at that. There's JoJo getting swung on at the most imperfect time. It's unstable, just has the timing on his side, really. 4 versus 2 now. It's going to be up to Unstable and Bandit to try to retake this. Never see him spraying through the smoke, but I just don't see this retake happening. It's a Bulldog it's a Bulldog and a Bucky and Sheriff going up against 4 of the big boy guns. 3 Vandals, 3 Vandals, 1 Phantom. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Down goes Unstable. Down goes Remy as well. 1 versus 3. But that's just all it's going to be. Leica gives us the final bullet, and that will give Toxic Tinas 9.
It's exactly what they needed at this point for Toxic Tinas, because if they had lost another one there, it would have started to look pretty rough. You get to 8-8, and then all of a sudden it just comes down to whoever's playing better through the rest of the half. The advantage that you built up on that defender side is basically nullified, and now you have to carve out something on an attacking half after losing 4 straight. Presumably, they would have lost that 4th if they had to eco on the attacking side, but you never know. But, I mean, at least my opinion, would have been a safe bet that we get to 8-8 if we see 8-7 here. However, we've got to 9-6. Toxic Tinas still with an advantage and a decently significant one at that, but they won't have an advantage if Kiko gets taken down by Double OC in the corner, swings wide for another, but Bubbles is able to get that next one back, so it's not nearly as insane a start as it would have been should Double OC have been able to do more than just double up. Instead, 4 versus 3, advantage is still to the defense, but Spike could be going down here, and it looks like it is.
There it is. There is JoJo taking down On My Way to even up this round. Bandit dropping the op, picks up a Vandal, but he's still at a long-range position. Unstable is pushing in, hoping to make this retake happen. It's a 2 versus 2. It's a very even retake. The health is in favor of the defense a little bit. There goes Remy due to the shock dart, and now JoJo is next. Bandit just a little bit better on the trigger. And that is going to be the retake coming through. And just like that, Team Jaws bring it back to within 2.
And you could always say, the HP doesn't make as much of a difference in a 2 versus 2 retake scenario, but agents like Sova are exactly why that is such a big difference. A fantastic dart at the very end of that round from Unstable, able to make it a 1 versus 2 because of that low HP. That ended up making all the difference in that round. So, from that situation, there's only so much you could ask of JoJo, and like you mentioned, Bandit a little quicker to the trigger pull in that situation at the very end. And it's a 9-7 now, so as good as that round before was from Toxic Tinas, Jaws still proving to be a huge threat inside this game. It's Double OC starting off well once again, able to get one off the start, but had a couple lined up, ran out of ammo, unfortunately. On My Way, able to get one, as well as Unstable with 2 with the Hunter's Fury. Now it's just Leica. They were able to get kills onto both Double OC and On My Way, though, they being the entirety of Toxic Tinas, but Leica gonna need a little bit more than just some toxicity here. Running out of toxicity, so just need to recharge the toxins on the Viper. But just gonna take your time. Knows they've only got a little bit of time to work with 1v3. Does block off all the angles, though. So it could still be a chance here. 50 seconds left, and they look like they might want to go straight into B site.
And he does have spike, so this is very doable. But not if you got Bandit. Just holding that angle, waiting for Leica to cross his sight path, and then pulling the trigger. And now there they go.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate round at the very end there. Has just a really, really quality ultimate from Unstable, who's been making the difference round after round with the Sova utility, not just gunplay. Has to be one of the best utility users we've seen in this game so far. In these past couple rounds alone, getting 2 kills with the Hunter's Fury, 1 kill with a Shock Dart as well, making all the difference. Not to mention, in that 2 versus 2, able to spot out both the attackers where they were trying to play that retake from with that recon dart as well. So Unstable doing a fantastic job with the recon darts and all the kinds of darts with the Sova, but Bandit doing a great job with the operator off the start. Jett able to get the opening kill, and it's yet another good start to what seems to be right now yet another good round from Jaws.
And a really good half so far by Jaws as well. I believe they've only lost 1 round, and that was the bonus round, which you're not really supposed to win. Here we see Bandit caught between shooting 2 targets. He makes his mind up and is able to take down that one. Aku finds a double. It's all on Bubble to try to save this round.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was going to get away from the grenade, but he doesn't. That's Aku. 3 kills on the round. This match is all tied up at 9-9. This next round is going to be pivotal because this next round gives the team double digits, and double digits is such a good such a good round for the mental fortitude.
Oh, yeah.
Once you have double digits, it just seems like you have solidified your presence in this game, and it just makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah, especially considering they were down by such a wide margin coming into this half. And like you mentioned, the 1 round they were able to win, they being Toxic Teenage, was that bonus round, that round number 3 after the first 2 were lost by Toxic Teenage. You get that other one into the Spectres and maybe in some cases even Sheriffs. And like you mentioned, you're kind of supposed to lose that on the defensive side. You really shouldn't win it. And if you lose that, going into the Spectres, you're not looking too good at all during this half. They were able to win that, but that's all Toxic Teenage have gotten so far. Spike Plant has been found. KO can still be revived as well. So it's a pretty solid start to the round for Toxic Teenage as Bubbles is able to bring JoJo back up, but JoJo taken down just afterwards. Leica able to get 1 more of the double OC as well. Oh, advantage is the Toxic Teenage. Bandit with the knives out coming into the retake. But it's not looking too good, and it looks like we might get another for Toxic Teenage. Unstable, though, was able to catch like in the corner 3 versus 3.
That's 3 versus 2 as Aku takes down Remy. There's Aku doing it again. Bandit hits the off shot, but it's through the wall. Pulls out the classic, and it is enough. Team Jaws bring it all the way back, and they are the first team to reach double digits. And now Toxic Teenage are in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, a little bit is a little bit of an understatement, as we see 10 rounds from 8 to 4 is just not, like, you've got to be questioning what exactly is going on here for Toxic Teenage. Maybe you just take up the Jaws strat and just keep running it at the A site, hoping that if you bash your head against the wall enough times, something will come out successful, because, well, that's what we saw Jaws do, and they've won 4. We've seen much more of an attempt at running defense and actually mixing up the sites they're pushing at from Toxic Teenage, but it hasn't really helped too much. Jaws still proving to be much better here, as they're able to force a couple shots from the tour de force early by putting out that Sova drone, but no kills either way. The Owl, all that's able to do is bait out a couple of shots from that tour de force again, but forcing that rendezvous out from the chamber as Fragment goes out from JoJo, able to get the kill on a double OC with that, but Bandit has like a dead to rights as well, so 4v4, JoJo low as well. It's not looking good for Toxic Teenage, but it's not looking bad either. Still a little too early to really tell what exactly is going to happen. This A push will be interesting.
That it will be. They've already made a home for themselves in Trench, but they are looking to get onto that A site and get that spike down. There's JoJo. A little bit better on the shot, but Bandit takes down Bubbles. And that will even up this round. 3 versus 3. Bandit does it again. That is their 2nd kill, or their 3rd kill of the round. 2 more away from the ace. It is a possibility. Of course, there is JoJo and Remy left. Bandit takes down JoJo. It's all on Remy, and Bandit finds the ace! Just like that, Team Jaws bring it all the way back from 8-4 to 9-11.
You should have seen your faces.
8 rounds, or 7 rounds out of 8 of this second half. That is absolutely outrageous. Team Jaws 1 round away from match point.
What is that ace from Bandit? What a fantastic, just does a great job overall, knowing exactly when to fall off the angles, even forfeiting that spike plant to the attacking side, as Toxic Tina's did manage to get it down, but Bandit just had everybody's number in that one, taking every single fight perfectly timed. Not enough crossfires on the side of Toxic Tina's to really deal with that operator properly because, well, Bandit would be able to just take one fight and then disengage. Didn't even need to have the tailwind on board to disengage from the fights. Could just simply run away, and that would be more than enough, because it was just Bandit not necessarily getting swung on by 2 players at the same time, being able to take those individual fights. And normally in Valorant, that's pretty rough, but when you're doing that into a Jet playing operator, you really can't afford to do that without losing that round, and that's exactly what we saw for Tina's. Able to get a spike plant in this one, but Aku does get that first one back.
Let's also not forget that this is a save round for the Toxic Tina's, so this is going to be a really rough round for them. There's Bandit with a shorty, just add a little bit of disrespect on top of it. 4 versus 2 in favor of Team Jaws. There's Bandit with the operator doing it again. Remy secures the double kill. There's still 2 more to go, though, and Double OC just takes him down. He's got a rifle. There's just nothing you can do. And now, Team Jaws, 1 round away from winning the game and securing themselves a spot in the grand finals. 1 round away from a guaranteed piece of the prize pool pie. And this is where it gets really rough for Toxic Tina's. Toxic Tina's, the only round that they have won on the attacking side has been the bonus round, and that's where they had a guns advantage. This is not looking good. Toxic Tina's, they need a complete revamp of their strategy if they want a chance to bring us back into overtime, in my eyes.
Oh yeah, not just in your eyes, but really just in the eyes of everybody, including Toxic Tina's themselves. You have to be thinking that, well, the mental is in dire straits on the attacking side at the moment. Well, it's safe to say that's not going to make it too much better. On my way, able to get the first one. Bandit, though, a rare miss. And Bubbles, able to get the kill off the back of it. Well, you don't want your only opening into the game to be a missed shot from the defense, but if that's what you need, you'll take what you can get. However, you can't quite get a win against Double OC. Is able to take down, now, 2 players dead on that attacking side. Kiko and JoJo, both dead for Toxic Tina's. It's just Bubbles, Leica, and Remy, who've all been having solid maps in their own rights, but it's not really much. Even after taking down Bandit, the top performer for Jaws so far. 50 seconds left, and it looks like it's an A push here as the util goes out. They're going to give it up. They're going to give away the fact that they're pushing into this A site, but that's actually a pretty solid decision because nobody's really over here. It's just Double OC in the back of the site, or Leica trying to make a play here, but Aku gets 2 with the paint shells, and on my way gets the last one as well. Bubbles goes down, and with it, well, Jaws take the W. It's Toxic Tina's going down a little bit short of the grand final, unfortunately for them, but Jaws will be moving forward, a 13-9 win on Icebox, and they do such a good job taking that at the very end.
Wow, that was absolutely outrageous. I thought on the attacking side that Team Jaws might just be a little bit too aggressive, but they weren't. Because on the attacking side, they were very aggressive, and that led to the retakes coming in very easily. But when they got on defense, they had just enough aggression to hold off the attack. And whenever they did get the spike down, the retake was perfection. Team Jaws is a very, very dangerous team. If they can get the attacking aggression under control and they figure out how much aggression they need exactly, they're going to be a very scary team. And for the grand finals, I think they're going to figure it out. But yeah, Team Jaws 13-9 is the final score. And I believe we do have the bracket up. I believe it's updated yet. Let me see. They're facing Zenosyne. It's going to be Team Jaws versus Zenosyne in the grand finals. Happy. What are we thinking for that match? What do we think about this last match that we just saw?
I think overall it's just Jaws proved to be the better team towards the very end, and that defender side definitely had a good bit of an advantage. Trust me, because it was an 8-4 half, and then Jaws, after losing that, not necessarily handedly, but they lost it by a solid margin, 8-4. You can have much closer than that. I understand that they're, typically really a lot of comebacks on 9-3. So in Valorant, really any half is comebackable as long as it's not like 12-0 or 11-1, really. But 8-4, it was a pretty good half for Toxic Teenagers, and then they showed up on the attacking side, and they just didn't really have any of what made them so lethal on the defense. They just were getting taken down. Those engagements, they weren't quite able to win them out. They didn't look like they were playing off each other properly. The op from Bandit was so much better than you would see a typical Jet op be into a more coordinated team because they weren't playing those crossfires correctly. They weren't able to trade each other out when that operator would take the one shot, because the typical weakness of an op in that situation is that you take the shot, but then you have to either dash out, with the tailwind of the jet, with the rendezvous on the chamber, whatever your operator or whatever agent you're running with that operator. But in this case, the Jet at times didn't even need the tailwind. Bandit was regularly able to stack up 2, 3, 4 kills around on the defensive half, and not much came out of Toxic Teenies. And at the very end, that made a lot of the difference, showing that although sometimes operator Jets aren't always fantastic, when they're having a good day, it is pretty tough for you to play the video game.
That it is. There's always some jet op that ruins my day. But I think one thing that we learned today was that Toxic Tina's very defensive team. It's a very common trait in someone who is toxic, is very defensive attitude. I guess it's true for Valorant teams as well. They just could not get it done on attacks. But for now, we will be sending it to break. When we return, it's the grand finals. Team Jaws versus Zenosyne. Don't go anywhere.
On our own, we jump, we fall, forgotten world. We're running out, running out, running out now. Won't hide away anymore like yesterday. 'Cause we're running out now. You can see it in our eyes that we won't look away. This time we're here to stay. So we're running out now. We're fighting, we collide, crashing every day. And if you feel afraid, we won't leave you. Time has come to stand our ground and close the door to paralyze stereotype fucked up minds. Every day there's a choice where to go, and you can turn it around. You can see it in our eyes that we won't look away. This time we're here to stay. So we're running out now. We're fighting, we collide, crashing every day. And if you feel afraid, we won't leave you. There's a man sitting next to you with a scarf around his head, and when it's down to the last end, he could be the one that saves you. And there's a woman driving in a car, and she talking her phone when you're crossing the street, and she could be the one that kills you. You can see it in her eyes that we won't look away. It's how we're here to stay. So we're running out now. We fly and we play, crashing every day. And if you feel afraid, we won't leave you.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Beyond infinity and back again. To them. Young dog and I talking. You know once in the shine, don't vex when you get married. Me nah make trouble stress my brain. Cut checks me, I cut to the chase. Star never second hand, never second hand, never stopping for a second, talking up on the line. Look a jump and sound, I go try and make statements. Don't test my patience. Don't test my patience. Look a jump and sound, I go try the cake, I'ma need more than 2 hands. Hey, I'm just an oddity. My commodity brings salary. It's like the lottery. Numbers all around the globe, they ain't nothing stopping me. Make a move, make a mockery. Lock the globe properly. I got the key, I drop the heat. East. You know why see me shine? Don't vex when you get married. Me now make trouble stress my brain. Cut checks, me I cut to the chase. Start every second hand, every second in command. Never stopping for a second, talking with one in a hand. You could jump on sound, I could try and make statements. Don't test my patience.
Like a Hellcat. Coming like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Frost Esports Whiteout Weekly Valorant Weekly Tournament. We have made it to our grand finals, a best of 3 for you guys to enjoy coming up. Maybe we'll move to the 2 maps. Hopefully, we'll go all the way into this map number 3 between our championship squads, which are Venisance, I forget how to pronounce their name, versus the team that we watched in our last matchup, the one and the only Jaws roster, also BIYJ, if you really want to go with a full official name. But yeah, so I'm incredibly excited to watch this grand final between these two. We've got all 3 maps coming up. Our first map's going to be Haven. So, Starcoin, any expectations going in this grand final? Okay, just give him some time. He'll come around.
All right, what are we talking about?
It's a Valorant. Remember? We're
Oh, Valorant.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Valorant Whiteout stream.
yeah.
Yeah. We got the grand finals on our hands. It's going to be a best of 3. Team BIYJ versus Team Zenosyne.
Zenosyne. That's what it was.
Zenosyne. Yeah, there it is. Team Zenosyne coming off of a win against Forsaken Gaming in the other semifinals. Of course, that was off stream. believe the score was 8-16, and Forsaken Gaming is a pretty good squad. So this should be a very good map. And like you said, we got the 3 maps in. It's Haven, Icebox, and Fracture, with Jaws defending on Haven and Fracture, but Icebox is going to be Zeno on defense.
Hmm. Yeah, indeed it is. So we're getting to our first time seeing Zeno, and just so you guys understand that it's not a visual glitch, there are 2 players on Zeno with the same name. So we are going to be casting 2 DN74s, which it which is going to be annoying, but you know what? We'll live through it, at least for the time being. As it stands, we're going to be casting 2 players with the same name. They also have the same picture. So no, there isn't really any way for us to differentiate between them, because why would we have an easy job to do on a nice little Thursday evening? So, anyways, we're going to get into our grand final here. It's Zenosyne with 2 DN74s, as well as Rack, Tricks, and Filthy, I believe was the other one as well. It's Rack, Tricks, and yeah, Frothy Philly. There we go. Mistake there. But so we're actually getting into our agent select here. So this is going to be interesting as we get into Haven.
That it will be. And of course, Haven, it's the site with 3 maps. So there's a lot of space for the attackers to take up. And if there is one thing. Oh, that's.
Okay.
Can you hear that?
Can I hear what?
Could you hear that beat that the lock-in made? Could you
I
hear
heard
that?
I didn't know it was quite a beat, but I thought it was one guy like clicking on different ones, like boom, 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 like with
Yeah.
a consistent beat to it. I guess it was a little bit of a beat, but
That kind of goes hard. I'm not gonna lie.
it goes kind of hard. Somebody
Yeah.
get like, I don't know, your favorite rapper on that beat. I don't know who.
Get
to
your
pick.
favorite rapper on that beat.
Get whoever your favorite rapper is. Get that one kid on your on your school bus or whatever who thinks he can freestyle well on that beat. See if he can hit one on that, he's a real deal. Trust me. But,
But yeah,
I was I was noticing on the defensive side, we almost had a Yoru. It looked like for a minute it was going to be a Yoru Neon comp, and I want to see that.
Select your
I know they're
agent.
not going to do it. They were just hovering random agents early, but a Yoru Neon comp starting defensive side would be so much fun. But alas, we will actually see the pretty solid comps picked up on both sides. Relatively different, actually, across both halves of the map, although no picks that are really too out there. We see a Fade on both halves, Chamber on both halves, and Raze picked up for both teams as well. It's a Sage and Omen on the attacking side to start. Meanwhile, it's a Breach and Astra starting for the defenders. So it's going to be BIYJ or Jaws, that defensive side, starting with that Astra, with that Breach, going up against Zenizens.
that they are. And one thing that I noticed for the first map, for the first game that we saw, on the attacking side, Team Jaws, they were getting quite a bit aggressive, and that was leading to easier retakes. And also, it was just leading to them getting picked off real easily. So that might favor them on a map such as Haven, with a little bit more space and a little bit more ground for the defenders to track. That might help them with their aggressive playstyle, because they like to overpush. Or they don't like to overpush, but they like to push a lot, and that leads to them over pushing as well. But on a map like Haven, it's very easy to recover from that. Or easier than it would be on a map such as Icebox. Oh, Bandit. That's one thing we did not miss from the first game. Those clean one taps. He got him through the box. Are you kidding me? Bandit, calm down, please.
What is that play from Bandit? Able to get 3 immediately. Might just start off this game with an ace. Oh, no. Okay. That's pushing it a little bit. Tries to go for the simple knife, but does get taken down by Frothy. However, it's 2 kills at the very end of the round. 1 for Aku, 1 for Double OC. And just like that, it's more of the same that we've been seeing from Jaws. A fantastic start to this first map of our grand final. And it's a great defensive half, at least off this start so far. A great way to start their defensive half. And we know that they can play well on their defensive halves, because they were doing that through Icebox, only losing 1 round on defense, which was the bonus 3rd round when they had Spectres into Vandals and Phantoms. So I'm expecting a lot out of this defensive half from them again.
That I am as well. They played very good on defense, which I was really surprised by. I expected them to overpeak and overpush and get themselves picked off a lot easier than they did, but they didn't. They were able to hold the defense or hold the offense off, and whenever the offense got on site, they were able to find those retakes. So a very solid defensive team, this team Jaws is. If they can keep this up, I will not surprise if they go into halftime with a score that is 7 or greater.
Yeah, this has been a really, really good way to start it off, and not to mention, not really too much aggression to start off the second round for Venasense or Zenosyne. Oh my gosh, when am I gonna get their name right? As they're gonna have one player go down already. That's one of our 2 DN74s. It's DN Rays going down first. DN Omen still up, as well as the rest of Zenosyne, but Aku is gonna do a good job taking him down. 3 kills for the Rays before. Well, Aku eventually taken down himself. So Trix gonna try and push forward 4 more. Unstable actually taken down by Trix from the side, but Trix taken down after Double OC catches the fade at a vulnerable position. DN74 swings in with the Astro with 1 more. Double OC doubles up at the very end to complement a triple kill for Aku. And although it was a valiant effort from Trix, not enough to win that round out. And it's a second round consecutive for the defenders of Jaws, and not to mention, because they had so many players die, they might be able to buy a lot into this, but no, they're actually just going to go for this, the normal armors, classics, and ghosts and specters. Oh my, it's just a I'm forgetting the word. What's the word? It's just a cornucopia of just mid buys.
There it is. Oh my God!
Whoa!
Oh my Lord! Coop, calm down, please! Give me a chance to breathe! DN74 is all that's left, and Double OC with the Sheriff. A coup! You can't do that! You gotta give the attackers a chance!
Well, you had literally nothing other than the Spectre, but I guess if the Spectre gets basically everything on its own, you didn't need too much more other than the Spectre, now did you? As Jaws take that bonus round like it was just another full buy into an anti-eco, you wouldn't have even known there were guns bought up for the side of Zenosyne. You would have had no clue. I didn't even really notice. It was never really important. They just were all dead. And now it's picked up for the defending side. That's not the way to start off that round, though, Bandit. A little bit of a hot streak. Crowd seems to be a little too hot for the time being. Cooled off just a bit off the start. DN Ray is able to get that one. Aku, though, the Rays on the opposite side, is able to get racked down. So 4 versus 4. And things starting to look better for the defensive side, as they should be. Unstable, clean tap, 4 versus 2.
1 enemy remaining.
That was all on the aftershock. Trix manages to get that kill, but it's just a stinger. You got to run out eventually, and on my way, just the better gun, the better position. Everything about that gunfight, he had the advantage for. 4-0 for Team Jaws, and this is looking real promising here.
Yeah, really promising start here for Jaws. I really liked what we've seen, and of course, it's more of the same considering how well they played on the defensive side on Icebox. But Haven, a completely different beast, spreading everybody across those 3 different sites, essentially 5 different ways, primary routes to get into those 3 sites, but with the 2 ways to get to A, garage to help you get to C, or B if you really want, and then mid for B as well. So it's a bit of a struggle to actually spread your defenders across at the perfect rate to be able to have enough power on each site to hold off a push, but simultaneously not overextending to the point where, you know, you're leaving a couple of sites open. As Unstable, able to get that first kill onto Rack. Really good start again in this individual round for Jaws. As Rack, though, yet to find a kill through the first 5 rounds. An unlucky start for the Chamber, but yet to get that tour de force in hand. Yet to really find that weaponry that is this Chamber signature, and without actually having a jet on either side. It's going to be just up to the Chambers, really, to run these operators. So it's going to be interesting to see what can happen, but if Rack's going to have a little bit of a cold game, it's going to be pretty tough for that attacking side operator to work out pretty well, at least early on.
That it is. Now the smoke is coming out, as well as the attacking Nightfall. And now the cavalry is coming. It's going to be a 4 versus 5 site take. There's a coup. He smoked off up top. This is going to be a pretty rough retake. Spike will not go down. The showstopper will get fired off by a coup. Does not find anyone. A coup spraying but Frothy Philly 7 somehow manages to get away from that situation with his life. Spike goes down. It's a 4 versus 4. The health is in favor of the defense here. Frothy Philly with the first. Restricts with one as well. Bandit! Headhunter in hand. Finds one. It's all on Frothy Philly. And that will be 5-0 for Team Jaws.
I thought once you saw Frothy Philly pull off the casting of the Sage Wall and then still somehow win that fight against Aku, who has been the hot hand, at least on the side of Jaws, or one of the hotter hands, not to mention Bandit having a pretty good game last game as well. But Aku has proven to be a very, very solid inside these gunfights, but losing that fight against Frothy Philly, who at the start of the fight was still coming off that end lag on actually, or I know that's a fighting game term, but I'm not exactly sure what else to call it, still finishing off the actual cast of the Sage Wall. So able to pull up off that, get that kill, still alive on 7 HP, didn't have enough time left to heal though, and towards the very end, Frothy was the only one still alive, not playing the low HP, trying to just say, well, might as well just go as hard on as you possibly can and just play with the HP that you have left and just take whatever fights you can. Instead, trying to play safe, but ends up getting caught in a 1 versus 2, can't win it out. Early action here, or about as much action as you can find early without really any damage being done to either side. As it's actually just going to be rotated to the A side. Double OC here, but Frothy Philly here just enough to actually get that kill. Lives on 1 HP. The Sagio going to get that player back up to around 50. And it's an advantage now. The attacking side for the first time really all day, and Tricks with the flank going to get one more. Aku does trade one back, but still advantage to Zenosyne.
And Tricks got the dink right there. And this might be where the over-aggression and straight-up cockiness of Team BIYJ might come back to bite them, as there is DN74, the Rays, getting revived, and there's DN74, the Omen, getting a kill. 1 versus 4 here, 38 HP. He's just going to get sprayed down every which way, and that will be a thrifty round. And the word of the round is over-aggression right there. There was no need for them to completely stack mid. Their cockiness got the best of them, and it gave Zenosyne that round entirely.
Yeah, if you want to look at even just a little bit of silver lining on the side of Jaws, at the very least, Frothy pops that Sage ulti and gets absolutely nothing out of it, giving away that position to Aku. And Aku able to get the kill immediately as soon as Frothy got that res. Not sure exactly who was revived, but I'm guessing it's DN74, because of the Rays at least, because you can't have 7 deaths through 6 rounds without it. So yeah, there goes my awareness. Somehow not recognizing that soon enough, but eventually. We get there eventually, but it's 7 deaths for DN74 through 6 rounds. It's just unlucky in that case. But Rack going to start this round off well. May not have a Sage revive to get yourself an advantage in this one, but you're going to get a good advantage early on, taking down Unstable. That Operator proving to be good for Rack, and again, had a bit of a rough start to the game, but Operator in hand, a Chamber always dangerous, and you're going to prove that once again as Rack gets that second kill of the game. And well, it's going to be a good start to the round for the attackers.
It is, and they're favoring the C side pretty heavily. That last man is, of course, Rack with that Operator. You also want to keep him back, that way he can launch the longer angles as well as the flank. But now that the pushes are coming in, Aku just going to try to spray through the smoke. Out comes the C's. Showstopper from DN74, and it's Rack through the smoke to find that kill. With Double OC hiding in the corner, it is enough to get the one kill, but Tricks doubles it up. Gets 2 kills back-to-back, and now it's on my way in a 1 versus 3. Outshoots the Chamber with the op and uses the Haunt. That does not give him the intel, but the Prowler will. Nightfall gets popped. Other Prowler gets popped as well. DN74 falls. It's all on the fades. Tricks a little bit low. Looking better with the shot. And that's the second round for the offensive side.
I think the way the crouch, the initial spot that he put his crosshair in, and the way the recoil went in that situation was just enough to shoot every single bullet right over the opposing fade's head. That hurt the soul to watch. Tricks was just barely able to win that out, but on my way with such a good attempt at the very end there. You could have seen that happening the whole way through. but just barely off the mark at the very end. Again, the only way I can describe it is I have like a feeling, a pain in my heart right now that wasn't there about 20, 30 seconds ago because of how close On My Way was to getting that. And you saw popping every single bit of utility that he had at his disposal, but just a couple inches, a couple frames off getting that kill at the very end. But Aku, more than good enough to get 2 at the very start here, but because of over-aggression from On My Way and the fact that Aku was only able to get 2 before getting traded out, it's an even 3 versus 3, and Frothy Philly can get a spike plant down as well. So, round, all things considered, is pretty good for Zenosyne, especially when you take into account the fact that they lost 2 pretty quickly just to Aku alone. Retake still yet to come in here, and it should be pretty solid, especially with the Astro Wall as Bandit gonna go in for the first one, gets DN Rays, another one on to Frothy Philly. Now it's just 1 player remaining, it's Rack. Needs a big play here, can't find it. Double OC with 1 at the very end, and 5-2, now 6-2 with the first round in a couple for the side of Jaws, but they make it work well.
That they do. Team Jaws managing to get themselves back on the front foot. They managed to slow it. They managed to slow down their pace, and they held back a little bit. Those last couple of rounds they lost because of over aggression. But right there, they were able to pull it back a little bit. They were able to pace themselves. They were able to take it a little bit slower. They realized that they don't need to go all the way bouncing off the walls. All they need to do was just play defense, hold the angles, and that is what they did. The aggression worked for a while, but they caught on, and then they just got overall cocky in that one round. You know what I'm talking about. They all stacked mid. But now, here comes the push from Zenosyne. DN Rays getting on top of the box, looking away at the wrong time, and he falls. There goes Unstable, though, as Frothy Philly is a little bit better on the shots. 4 versus 4. But looks like the take is actually being thrown off. And now they're going to rotate over towards the C side, but it's wide open. It's going to be the Astra double OC that's going to get there first, and he's going to have to do a lot to try to save this side take.
Double OC in the back of the site, though. Can't really do anything. Shut down very, very early on. So that's double OC and Unstable. Both put in the grave very quickly. Now, again, advantage to Zenosyne. They've been in such good spots here, but playing this just that long, it's a high risk, high reward. You did already kill your Astra, but could still be denied by plenty of factors, however. No smokes, no walls, no nothing like that. It's just going to be down to the shots, but the shots are good from Aku. Gets Frothy Philly down quickly. Omen actually going to toss a little bit of a... Oh, actually, that's a really clean smoke because it's going to be a one-way. DN74, that Omen themselves able to get 1. Quick peek for Rack. 2 at the very end. Chamber, perfect to shut down any retake attempts and make it a 3rd round. Zenosyne didn't start off too hot, but they've got 3 of the last 4, and they're trying to be the hot hands going into that second half. Still an opportunity at making it a dead even half as we see the side swap, but don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Still very solid of a half so far from Jaws, and you shouldn't count them out too quickly. Even though they are thrifty in this round, we've seen scarier buys from the defense, I guess. Or I guess scary if you're rooting for them. We've seen scarier buys work out for the defensive side, so don't count them out just yet. 6-3. Advantage in this round to Zenosyne.
They, like you said, huge advantage because they got a Stinger, 2 Classics, Sheriff, and a Frenzy. Bandit going to be spotted out. The Headhunter does not land. Unstable, flashing out. He can't hit the shots. Precise gunplay, everything he needs. He can't hit the shots. Unstable,
He can't. Somebody kill Rack.
Finally, he gets 1, but he's stuck in a 4v1. And Frothy Philly shoots him down and ends his round. Unstable, get yourself back into aim lab, man.
It felt like Rack swinging in was like Han Solo against a bunch of stormtroopers. Nobody was able to shoot the guy. The chamber just runs straight through and just eventually goes down. But with all the missed opportunities on the side of, well, on the defensive side for Jaws in particular, you don't want to single out Unstable, but watching him in that position, it was just, it hurts because he kept over anticipating a little too hard, overestimating how much of a strafe it would be from Rack, and Rack ends up I didn't win that gunfight. Eventually died to Unstable. So Unstable got the first thing he was looking for, but not necessarily as clean as he would have liked. And well, 3 players still alive for the attack. Excuse me, at the attacking side at the end of it. So not a round that Zenosyne can be too angry about.
Not a round they could be angry at all. It was a great shutdown of that eco buy. And now they just got to keep on trucking along. They have almost a full buy, as in Team Jaws. They have an op, 3 rifles, and a judge. And of course, that is a coup with a judge. Raise judge meta. Aku gets 1, but Frothy Philly takes him down, and DN74 gets revived. So it's like it never even happened. Out comes the Rolling Thunder from the defense, but Bandit is still in a really rough spot. He's pulled out the Headhunter. He's got the op on the second half, but look at this! Look at this! Zenosyne going to rotate, and they've got the defense beat. There's Frothy Philly on the lurk. That takes down Unstable, and now Seasight is in firm control over... Seasight is in firm control. It's Zenosyne. There's no one that can stop this plant.
Yeah, nobody at all. So just save. Double OC, even a little bit too close in this situation. A little too close for comfort to that C site. They might actually be trying this. Maybe they feel as though they have the money into the next round. They really don't, but they've got the confidence. They might try and find some exit frags. Double OC really can't afford to go for too many more swings. Can swung on from the side. Trix gets that, and Rack wraps it all up with the kill on the Bandit. DN70 Omen. DN70 Omen. Did go down towards the very end there, but just the 1 kill. And now, well, it's not a great buy. You have a Bucky, a Spectre, and well, Unstable gonna have to sacrifice a little bit going for that Vandal with the light armor. There's 2 Spectres, a Bucky, and a Phantom as well. And, well, we can't exactly see how much util they have purchased up. I can only assume it's definitely not what they were looking for. As one of those Spectres on Double OC traded in for a Bulldog, except sacrificing the full armor for it. You can only help but you can't help but think that if they had those 2 weapons they had at the very end saved into this round, it would have been much better off and much more likely at getting that 7th, keeping the advantage at least going into the next half. But right now, it's not looking fantastic, and they're just gonna run straight into Aku and on my way. Let's see what the Jaws defenders on the A site can do. They're actually getting assists from the rotates, but instead, as the defenders rotate in, as they rotate out from the attacking side, Zenosyne want nothing to do with this A site.
They really don't, and they leave Frothy Philly on the lurk yet again, but this time they do not find anything. Now look at this defense. This could be problematic for Zenosyne, as you got Double OC pushing down. The Bulldog is better on the shot, and DN Rays will fall. 5 versus 4. But look at this. This is not an ideal situation for Zenosyne. You're down a man. That is your entry down. No doubt about it. Raze is by far who you want entering. But they're all the way down, so you're going to be forced to use one of the other utilities. And honestly, the only one that's fit for that would be Fade. Fade's pushing up mid.
Yeah, Fade at the moment. Just kind of playing a solo lurk, trying to catch rotates, and might be able to catch Unstable. Does do just that. It's the Sage entry. Look at that. And hasn't gone super well. Taken down by Aku. But Trix, how do you win that? Double OC just off the mark. Aku taken down by Rack as well. So Rack needs to get this plant down. Able to plant it. Bandit alone in this situation gets the Headhunter kill from behind, but the Nightfall at the very end. Tour de Force at the end as well, but Trix had the intel headshot through the wall, and Bandit, well, alive no longer. A 6th round at the very end. Oh, so close, not to mention. And as close as it was, though, and as much as those 2 weapons, you hate to bring up things from the past, but the 2 weapons they had in round 11 could have been saved through in round number 12 and made that kind of difference, but alas, no difference to be made. It's a 6-6. Literally no difference at all between these 2 teams coming into the second half.
That it is 6-6. This is as close as you can get. And honestly, balls in your team Jaws started this round off really hot. They started perfect. They were playing exactly how you need to play. Team Jaws, they were getting aggressive on defense, but they weren't over pushing. Then that one round came where they just started all gunning it up mid on the eco round, and that just started their downfall. Zenosyne were able to overcome that one round, and it just seems like they were not the same. Either that or Zenosyne is not the same, because something happened and Zenosyne has just had a counter for everything that Team Jaws has done since. But we're going to hope that that can change on this second half. Of course, we want as close of a match as we can get.
Absolutely we do. It's unstable. Caught in the corner by those paint shells in DN74. It was a pretty rough starting half. Died more times than there were rounds. As you hate to bring up the Sage ulti that happened there, but it is the reason that you can make that reference to DN74. Almost going down here as Akko just a little off, but with the first kill in that round for DN Rays. Trying to make a retake work. Frosty Philly on that spike once more. Is DN74 able to take down Akko as well? That DN Omen is going to be huge. As On My Way takes down Tricks though. Bandit with one more. DN Rays trying to make something happen towards the very end, and it's good for the retakers. Rack pushing out far, giving time to his teammates. Is DN Rays with 4 in the round. That's definitely a good way to make it through your first round without dying. DN Rays though, the big 4K is they don't take him down early and they face the consequences.
For the first time this game, Zenosyne have a lead. Zenosyne come out of the pistol, just trucking straight through to that retake. I believe it was a 5 versus 5 retake as Team Jaws were able to get onto the A site with no resistance whatsoever. But once they were met with resistance, they completely fell under. And it was all Zenosyne from then on out. And now they have the advantage for the second round. 5 Spectres and heavy shields. There we see Akko just pushing straight through the smoke. I don't think he had an idea for what he was doing. Oh, Bandit! Look at Bandit. He's got 2. Looking for a 3rd, but no, that's going to Frothy Philly. Frothy Philly, maybe a 4th, but he gets gunned down. It's the point-blank ghost, but Trix is there for the trade-out. 8-6 in favor of Zenosyne now.
So many different moments in that round that just defy all logic, but I suppose that's just the way Valorant goes sometimes. That double headshot at the very end there was just something else, but Frothy with a really solid round, enough to get those 3 kills and get that 8th round so far as Zenosyne. You mentioned they're taking their first lead. Well, they're definitely taking a significant lead here, but going into this bonus, not really anticipating too much more of a lead as they've got a creative little C stack. Yes, you is though. Oh, yeah, excuse me. It's been a long week, but issue is. I'm trying.
How could you yawn? How could you yawn?
I have a yawning
this is
problem.
so intense.
I could be in a life or death moment and I would still yawn. I noticed that I yawn way too much, but it's if there was ever a round to yawn at, it's a full 5-on-5 retake where one team has Spectres and pistols. It's not looking too great, but if they go quickly enough, this could be cool, but On My Way getting the first one is not going to bode well for the defensive side. Rack trying to make something happen. Headhunter, he has been popped. On My Way, though, able to get yet more, and Akko gets their first kill of the round. DN Omen is able to get 1, but it's just Trix and Omen in the 2 versus 4 at the very end. Both of them pretty low as well, so just save what you can into the next one, Trix. Besides, they want to bring a Spectre into this next round, or actually go for the exit frags. That seems to be more of the kind of style they're going for. Akko, though, does get that kill at the very end. Gonna be crucial as well. Starcoin, I just saw your face cam. Don't make fun of me for yawning. You just hit one yourself.
I plead the 5th.
Yeah, look, man. They couldn't see it on the stream, but you know, I'm not. I know what I saw. I know what I saw.
I plead the 5th. I plead the 5th. And yeah, that round for Team Jaws, that was an absolute must win. I don't think they would have been able to survive out if they did drop that bonus round. That was a must win anti-bonus right there, because if you didn't, that would have gained double digits. I think this match would have been over. For this first map at least, anyway. But now it's looking a little bit more up. This is looking a little bit more even. It's a 5 versus 4 in favor of Team Jaws now. And they've got the spike down. This is looking really nice. They just got to hold off. But we've seen how this defense can be on those retakes. Zenosyne has been really clean on them so far. Because when you got shots like that from Rack, it can make things a little bit easier.
Oh, it definitely can. Shots such as those are what make the difference in rounds, such as these. It's unstable to head out with that. Oh, the breach is going to be so crucial from underneath. Bandit with 2, though, as the swings for the chamber are just so clean, unstable. Not quite able to get that next one, though. Tricks almost popping off for 3 straight. Sends out the haunt. Does get it destroyed, but does know now where the Astra lies. But Astra is able to get that last kill at the end. OC does die to Spike, but 8-8, winning the round out regardless of whether or not they were able to save it into this next one. And that's crucial because, well, in this situation, that's not just a bonus. That's a full-on guns against guns, and Jaws able to win it out.
That it is, and now they force Zenosyne on an eco. So this is a huge opportunity for Team Jaws to take the lead right here. And after you had such a commanding lead and you let it go all the way back to 6-6, and then 8-6 in favor of the other team, regaining the lead is absolutely huge. Because on the defensive side, they have 2 Sheriffs, 2 Classics, and a Ghost, which is not an ideal gun comp, if you will. Because there's OC getting a double kill with the Guardian. It's DN and Tricks, DN Raze to be specific right there. And real quick, I do want to point out in the early game, right before the game, DN74 said if one of the DNs does good, the other one does good, and vice versa. And they're on the bottom of the leaderboard, both of them.
Yeah, and no, they did mention that. They both also have 8 kills. So it's important to point out that they are literally going step for step with one another, at least in terms of fragging as well. Safe to say that the defensive side as a whole, not just both the DNs, could not at all go step for step with Jaws. So they get 5 kills straight. It's a flawless round in that one for Jaws as Zenosyne. Well, they could use a little bit of aid here. They've just lost that lead they were able to take back, but we've seen them come back from unlikely deficits before, as I believe it was a 5-0 lead initially. Yeah, in fact, it was 5 straight rounds to start off the game for Jaws. So when you look at it like that, they've gone 8-4 in the past however many rounds, excluding the first 5. So I can't really do that math on the fly, and I'm going back to college tomorrow, so it's not boding well for Happy, but regardless. We're getting into round number 18 as Rack up towards Heaven. Does get flashed out of that position, but nobody really pushing in towards A. Instead, noticing that they've got a free C site for Jaws, and they're going to take advantage.
That they are. Astra's already on site, and she is going to plant for long. Bandit's going to pop the Tour de Force ultimate. That's going to give them a little bit more pressure on CT. Astral Wall also comes up, also known as the Cosmic Divide. And this is a really nice looking site take for the side of Team Jaws. 5 versus 4 now as Unstable finds a kill towards mid, but DN74 gets rezzed immediately. Rack pushing up, but Unstable takes down Frothy Philly. Take that for your resurrection, Sage. Bandit close range. Oh, through the Cosmic Divide! He didn't even know he was firing a pot shot. On my way, gets one before getting taken down themselves. It's all on DN74. And all he can do is save. The clock runs out. And double digits has been reached.
Yeah, regardless of which DN74 it was, doesn't make too big of a difference in that scenario. Goes down all the same at the very end of that round. And, well, like you said, clock is out on that past round. And it seems that time has run out on the opportunities, at least through these last 4 rounds, for the defenders as a whole. Going to come into this one with significantly worse weapons than we've seen from them in rounds past. Just a stinger, some sheriffs. I mean, Rack not even buying anything other than maybe some utility. Maybe has the headhunter on board, but Tricks going to have their round ended pretty quickly, as that's only 1 fade remaining in the lobby, and it's on the attacking side, who are at the 10-8 advantage and are just getting the spike down as well. It's been a great start to this half for Jaws, not to mention, well, your opposing Raze is down to just 1 HP. Whether you know it or not, It's going to be crucial in upcoming fights, and well, now DN raised down to just 0 health. As On My Way able to get one more. It's just a bit of a done round as Rack does manage to get one, so not allowing a flawless. The right click does get that one, but 11-8. So great half so far for Jaws.
That it is, and we thought they were going to struggle coming into it because Zenosyne started off the half with 2, but then that bonus round came in and everything changed. Since the bonus round, uh, Team Jaws have gone 5-0 in the rounds, so pretty good last 5 rounds from Team Jaws after a great start to the half from Zenosyne off the pistol round, as well as the second round, which I believe was the before bonus round? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a load of utility. This is Valorant at its finest. Just a load of utility. No one knows what's going on. A couple people get killed. It's fine. Out comes the Rolling Thunder from the attacking breach, and that forces the defense off of the C site, and that will get the spike down for Double OC, and he gets shot through the wall. That takes a little bit of HP off of him. It's a one-man advantage for the retake here by Zenosyne. The flash comes out, On My Way swings, gets a double, and that flips the one-man advantage to the side of Team Jaws. And this is a huge, huge round for Zenosyne, as if Team Jaws wins this, then they are on match point.
Rack with a flank, though, wraps around, gets the first kill. Unstable. Down for the count, and now it's a little bit more of an advantage because Bandit's low too, but low as you may be, the one taps with the Guardian are going to be huge. Tap on from Rack as well, but On My Way does finish things off well. 12-8 is Jaws on 6 straight. As they started this half with 6, they've got 6 since then. We need 4 rounds at the very end without losing a single round for Tricks, Rack, Frothy, and both DN74s, or else they will be done with this game. They will be done at least with this map. As, again, in case you were not aware, we've got a best of 3, so still plenty of opportunities coming forward. But this first map is going to be crucial in setting the tempo for the rest of the series. As Jaws, we know at least that they can win pretty handedly. They had such a good game last time around on Icebox, and it's 12-8 here. They might just be able to win out Haven to take us to our second map.
They might just do it. The spike goes down on B site, and they've got a really strong hold. Once again, this is map point for the attackers. One more successful site hold, and they have got map 1 done in the books, and they only need one more. Now the clock is ticking. Here comes the retake in. Rack find the first kill, but Aku gets 2 more, but probably Billy gets 2 as well, leaving it all on Rack. 34 HP and a dream. 11 bullets in the magazine. Unstable falls, and now it's all on Double OC. He's got an Astral Star there. Gets sucked in, and Double OC, the Astra play gets him every single time. 13-8, Team Jaws take map 1.
Great map overall from Team Jaws. A close attempt there. Try and keep your team alive, but wasn't meant to be. Team Jaws closed this one out 13-8 fashion, not even allowing the opposing side of Zenosyne to even get onto that double digits. They got to 8 rounds first, notably got to 8 rounds at only 6 on the opposing side, but Jaws, from that point on, were able to just go on a tear, taking, I believe it was 7 rounds straight. I'll check the timeline. Yeah, it was 7 consecutive rounds for the attackers, and that is huge on a map like Haven, especially after they had a really good start on the defensive side, winning that pistol, winning out that second one, which is kind of a given after you take that pistol, but still, it's a pretty good start, especially considering they had to make a good comeback in that first round, Zenosyne, or in that first half, rather, Zenosyne, but it was a great start and a great end to that map for Jaws, and, well, if you get a good start and a good end, that seems like a wonderful formula to actually win out the map as a whole.
It does. I believe it was like 5-0 before Zenosyne were able to get around on the board.
5-0.
Actually, we'll check the timeline right here. Yeah, 5 rounds in a row. and then it was back to 2 for Zenosyne, and then they were able to get that 6th, and then it was just win out for 6 rounds straight for Zenosyne. But after those 6 rounds, it was all Team Jaws, and they really came alive in the second half of the second half, or really was it the first half of the second half? Because
Just the second
they
half,
only,
the whole second half.
yeah, the whole second half, minus the pistol round and the second round. But yeah, a great, great coordination from Team Jaws in the second half as well, and overall, just a great game from them in general. Just they played amazing in the first and last half. So they take map 1 13-8, and now Zenosyne are going to be playing on the back foot, and they have to win out. This next game is a must win for them in the best of 3. Speaking of the best game, we will be going to Icebox, and Zenosyne will defend. And we just got done casting a match of Icebox in the last match, back when it was Jaws versus Toxic Tinas.
Yeah, so it was not a great map for Toxic Tinas. They had a little bit of a rough end of that one, so Jaws took that. We'll have to wait and see if they're going to take yet another Icebox and close out this grand final in 2-0 fashion, or will it be a map number 3 being forced? Will Jaws barely lose this out? Will Zenosyne be able to take Icebox? Well, we'll have to answer those questions in just a little bit. So stick around after this short break because we've got map number 2 coming up right after this.
Wondering how to make a play all night, looking your way from out of sight, thinking I should ask if you're doing alright. You weren't easy, so hard to ignore. Pull up on your right, ask what you're drinking, ask what you like. Such a look good in the dim bar light, so damn cheesy. Who'd have thought you'd fall for somebody like me? When you asked my name, I panicked, so out of my league. And your body was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked, and I think about you a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me. Somebody like me. Somebody like me. Took you out and showed you the city. How'd you let somebody so pretty's what they said to me? Yeah, that's what they said to me. Well, they told me I didn't stand a chance, yeah. Face value, had you at a glance, yeah. But nobody ever asked if you could dance, yeah. Well, only one who did that was somebody like me. When you asked my name, I panicked, so out of my league. And your body was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked, and I think about you a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody, somebody like me. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody, somebody like me. Somebody like me. When you asked my name, I panicked, so out of my league. Anybody was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked, and I think about you a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me.
Swipe left, someone said something stupid. Swipe right, now I'm watching what you did. Power down, now I'm at a disadvantage. But I think that it's worth it. I put my headphones on, I play my favorite song. I go to sleep and try again. I do on earth is just a yes, sir. And when I tell people how they make me feel, they treat me like a leper. I put my headphones on, I play my favorite song. I go to sleep and try again. Mama used to try and tell me no man is an island, but I think I feel like drifting away. Mama used to say tomorrow never comes, so make the most, but I think I am done with today.
take me alive. Get ready for the fallout. Can't stop me now. I got no rival. I'ma find my way through the blood and pain game of survival. Anytime or place, watch 'em run away. I got none. I'll be standing on my own. Never gonna take my throne. I got no rival. Watch 'em run away. I got no, no, no. I got no, no, no rival. Tell me now, what you gon' do? We can do this face to face. The reckoning is coming real soon. Doesn't matter what you say.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Frost Esports Whiteout Valorant tournament brought to you by a trio. That over there is Happiness. I'm Starcoin Hero, and we are in the middle of a grand finals. It is Team Jaws versus Zenosyne. And right now, Jaws has a 1-0 lead over Zenosyne after taking the first map Haven 13-8.
Oh yeah, Jaws looked so good on that one. Not to mention, we're going to Icebox, territory that they are familiar with. Obviously, both of these teams, with the amount of Valorant they've played plenty of Icebox, but we mean we're familiar with them playing on it. We know they can catch a W on this map. They did it in the semifinal on stream just before. They were playing on Icebox and won, was it 13-10, 13-9? Not exactly sure, but I know they had a very good end to that game against it was Toxic Tina's. So making it to that semifinal. Unfortunately, though, they lost to the one, the only Jaws, who win that round on Icebox, win that map on Icebox, get to the grand final, win map number 1 on Haven, and they're back to Icebox again. And well, we know with the way they play on this map, they can be incredibly lethal, especially on that defender side. Starting on attack, expect a lot of A pushes. Isn't that right?
Oh, absolutely. Whenever they were on the attack for the first map that we saw, they were very aggressive on the A site, and it caused them to over push sometimes. I believe they went into the first half, or went into the second half with a score of 8-4, favoring the other team. So if they can get that aggression down and they figure out how far they need to push and how far they need to, like, how far they need to play to not over peak and
Mhm.
get themselves taken down, then they are going to have a really nice time on Icebox. Because on defense, they got it down. They know exactly what they need to do on defense. On attack, they were a little bit shaky, but overall, I think that is a very fixable mistake that they were making. So I think this map is going to go to Team Jaws as well. I think we're going to see a 2-0 here.
Yeah, it looks pretty good for them coming into it, especially considering they had such a good defending half when they were able to, actually win this out. But they had such a good defending half that they only really need a couple of rounds on the attacking half. As we're just about ready to get in. I believe we're just waiting on one of our players to actually get some water, but they've just returned. And with that, we are officially ready to kick off Icebox, map number 2 of the possibly 3 in our grand final. That's going to come down to whether or not Jaws take this here. Jaws starting this off on the attack. It's defense for Zenosyne. And we're already seeing some locks come in. The chambers are the first ones to go on both teams, and well, that's absolutely to be expected.
That it is chamber on Icebox is a must with how much space and how much ground you can control with those trademarks as well as those rendezvous. It is a huge agent pick. Another one, Viper, the must pick controller for Icebox. Nobody comes even close to how much you can do with Viper on Icebox, but it looks like Ben is actually going to hover over the Astro, which is a good pick for any map that is not Icebox. I feel like Viper is by far the pick you need on Icebox, and Astra's just not going to cut it unless they do double controllers. Maybe,
Ooh,
maybe.
okay, spicy strat. Maybe,
Spicy.
maybe. I know last time we saw them lock the jet on this one. Double controllers though would be a pretty cool pick, but we don't actually.
Choose your
At least
agent.
for the time being, it doesn't look like we'll see that. Bandit might be hopping back on that jet, and last time they were on Icebox, Bandit's jet with the operator was something to behold. As we're gonna actually go away from the double controllers, it looks like Bandit just gonna run that jet instead. As wait until the very end to lock it, probably just talking it over. Maybe just saying, no, give me my jet, trust me. I know what I'm doing. I don't want to run any Astra. Run me my jet off. You know what happened last time. It's gonna go well. And well, Icebox starting off very similar. Actually, maybe even the same. Aku was running Raze last time. Yeah, so it's the same Icebox comp this time around for Jaws, but something new from Zenosyne. We actually see the Sage come out on Icebox, which we didn't see last time. And I mean, actually, you mentioned a pretty good Sage strat in the pistol round, at least for the attacking side. Last time we were watching it, didn't you, Starcoin?
I did. One of the strats that these teams like to do on defense is wait for the attackers to plant the bomb, because like there's a lot of times where they would just plant the bomb right in the defensive side nest, right on top of there. And then once they fall off, or once you get enough space, you just put the wall up on top of the little box between the zip line, and they just cannot shoot it. And that's pretty much a free round and a free defuse right there, because they only have pistols. They can't shoot it. Of course, it doesn't work in like the bonus rounds and the gun rounds, because you have a Vandal. You can just melt right through that Sage wall, or that barrier orb. But on the pistol round, it is a very viable strat.
Yeah, nice little reliable strat to lock in round number 1, and probably round number 2 to go along with it, as we've been seeing the typical trend all day. Teams who win that first round win that second round out, and well, teams getting that first kill in that first round make a big difference. DN this time around, we've got our DNs on the Chamber and on the Viper. So it's DN Chamber, DN Viper. Do we have any idea which one was which last map? Absolutely not, but we know which one is which this time around. So 4 versus 4 going into the retake is Frothy Philly and Double OC, both down first, but Unstable able to get one from behind, another for Unstable. The Headhunter is crazy so far. Back to the classic, though, is out. There goes the 0 point from the KO. DN Viper goes down quickly, though, so on my way, able to get one more, and Aku wraps up the round with a kill and the tricks. Really good start here for Jaws. No chance to even use that Sage strat, because Frothy Philly went down first, and from that point on, it was just a pretty clean sweep at the very end of that round, including a great flank from Unstable.
And it was an overall a great, like you said, a great round overall from Team Jaws. They played perfect. They pushed up just as far as they need to, and they did not overextend. Of course, they held some long angles, but that's just to keep them off the site. I know Unstable was holding the long angle with the Headhunter, because nobody's going to have anything better than Headhunter, so you have the advantage there. And here we see Unstable. He's going to do it again. He's holding the angle, this time with a Ghost, and everybody is pushing him. He's going to find one, and he's going to dip on out of there as fast as you can say. As fast as you can say. 5v4 as the spike goes down on the A site, and it's going to be a one-man disadvantage on the retake, but not for long. DN Chamber gets the kill, but Unstable takes down DN 74. The Chamber, that's the Chamber battle 1. 2 versus 2 now, as this is a pretty even retake, actually.
Yeah, it's been going well for both sides, but Bandit on the flank, knife out. Oh, don't tell me he's actually going to go all the way with the knife. Wants a backstab. Might be giving up the full actual capability of the retake in doing so, but just goes for the knife regardless. Got a little greedy with the second one. Trick's able to win it out as a result, but not able to get the spike defused. Not that bad of a play from Bandit there, knowing that the time was on the side of the attack. Went for the knife just for that extra money, and knew that there wasn't really enough time, even if Trix played it well at the end, to get that spike defused. But almost an unlucky play for Bandit, but was definitely a wiser player than somebody who would just do that in any given scenario. Knew that it was basically an impossible round for the defenders to win out in that retake. So why not take some money with you into the next round with that beautiful backstab? making it a 2-0 lead. And actually, not too much of a bonus at all for the defense. A Sheriff on my way, but otherwise, we've got Vandals and an Operator on Unstable. Oh.
And Bandit with a really nice shot. There's Unstable with the Operator. He sees the KO drop down, but he's just not fast enough to get the shot. I believe out comes the flash. Trix will manage to get back to safety, but Unstable is still watching that angle like a hawk. Now, this is the ace site, and there is a lurk on the Viper. That is double OC up into. That is a really strong position for the lurk. So if they can get onto this ace site and get that spike down, got a feeling that this round is all but wrapped. It's all but wrapped up, excuse me.
Yeah, wraps is, well, I mean, terminology works all the same. It's just pretty done round if, in this scenario, Rack isn't able to do too much. Playing very close contact here on the A site. Has Trix behind to work with as well, but Rack's not looking the right way. Expecting a play out of middle, Unstable. Able to get that kill from the side, and now watching that swing out for Trix. Actually just needs to peek a little bit into it. Doesn't get the swing from Trix, but gets the kill regardless. DN on that Viper able to get one, but Aku trades onto the other DN playing the Chamber. And now it's just DN Viper 1 versus 3 in the retake, and it doesn't look very good. On my way and Aku, both not quite 100, but you've got 2 Vandals and an Operator to retake into. But, I mean, DN74 on the Viper, that is, just going to walk away. Smart play to save. I know we saw a couple times last game where a save would have been helpful, but this time around, actually going to make it work. Notably, again, didn't see too many saves last time, in spite of the rounds where they would have helped. So it's good to see both teams starting off well this time, knowing everything on the line. It's good to make those smart plays rather than to go for the highlight clips. And you let that opposing side have a 3rd round in a row if it means you've got a better chance at winning this 4th.
That is definitely the smart play, and now you have a Vandal, but you only have 1 rifle going into a very broken economy by 2 Sheriffs, 2 Classics, and of course DN Viper with the Vandal. DN74, he's got 1,500, but he's going to go with the Sheriff as well. There's just not enough money to make this happen. I believe that eco round is definitely the best strategy, that we have a little bit more going into the 5th round. Because this round is going to be very difficult to win. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. Because you got Unstable on the op. Oh!
What?
He's just better on the shot. It's the Marshall to the head. Here is Bandit. Catches DN Viper.
Spike's here.
From the side, here's DN 74. This time it's the Chamber with the Sheriff. He gets taken down by a coup. 4 versus 3. That op was down, and it is still down over near the ace side, but they just don't know about it. I don't think they saw Unstable drop the op. Bandit with a kill on the Frothy Philly. 2-man advantage now as the spike is going to go down.
Spike down.
There's
B.
Rack with the Marshall. Taking down on my way as well, and there's Trix getting one as well. 2 versus 2 retake here for the defense.
Oh, but Double OC's got this angle onto Rack, but the timing on that peek around the corner is so good for Rack, and as he wraps that corner, it means Double OC now gonna just have to wait a little longer for that fight, but once the fight comes, it's 1 all the same. Trix 1 versus 2, and as good as the Marshall shots have been so far this round, you can only imagine that it's not going to be good enough to win a 1v2 in this scenario, as Aku playing behind the gray box, not the yellow box, and well, regardless of what box it is, gets the kill. Aku finishes the round out. It's a 4th for Jaws, and well, all things considered, not too bad of a defensive round with that buy. Such a good job from those Marshall players. In particular, it was Trix to get that headshot, winning out Marshall against Operator. You definitely don't see that every day, but now that you've seen it, but it wasn't enough to win out the round, you have to wonder, well, what is going to be enough to see that first round from Zenosyne, or will Jaws just dominate from here on out?
We will see. Unstable is going to be using that Tour de Force as a primary, as he does not have quite enough to buy a Vandal. So, when you have the best sniper rifle in the game as an ultimate, you might as well use it and hold those angles. Of course, 5 versus 5 site take. It's going to be the A site that is going to be hit. The null command gets popped by Tricks on the defense. That's going to slow this push down quite a bit, but unstable. With the tour de force gets the kill, and then there's Aku taking down Frothy Philly, and now they got the 2-man advantage secured. 1 kill by the defense, but it's traded out immediately. 2 versus 4 now, and look at this. Aku is going hunting with a showstopper. Does not get the kill, but he does get the intel off the swing. Spike's gonna go down, and this is gonna be a really difficult take. Bandit, please. Same spot in 2 different games. He does something crazy with the Bucky.
Wow, I mean, just tight to hold on the Bucky is Bandit. Just swings around that corner off the intel that was gathered, like you mentioned, by Aku playing that. You know, it's unfortunate. That's like just about one of the few spots that Aku could have tossed that ulti without killing somebody. Is the last 2 players were towards that mid, but that showstopper not able to stop any shows just there. However, the Bucky proves to be the real showstopper in that round. Is Bandit going to keep it into the next round? Still on the Bucky as we get into round number 6. Maybe getting a little too overzealous. And I believe it was after 5 rounds last time around that Jaws did get a bit overconfident and lost out a round due to a little too much aggression, though this time they look pretty good to start as unstable. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe just can't quite move. Maybe he's done something disgusting, but regardless of that, Bandit just... How do you get so many kills with the shotty? DN74 is able to get one more. Aku now chasing down with a knife as the tour de force popped in the small tunnel and able to get one more. 3 versus 1 now. The no scope, not quite there. Headhunter not there either. Oh my god, no. I'm not even gonna try and cast this anymore. Oh, DN! Don't blow my mind right now. They've all been going for the knives, but he's still been landing the shots regardless. 16 HP. 1 shot left in the tour de force to boot. Playing the hard left corner is OC, and he's able to win it out at the very end. DN Chamber not able to win the round. Barely able to win that, but that's about as BM around as you can find from the attacking side of Jaws, and they still win it out regardless. They've got commanding control over this game as Bandit chooses the Bucky again into round number 7.
I'm gonna say it. Team Jaws did not deserve that round 1 bit.
No.
Not at all. No, there's a difference between having a commanding lead and straight up throwing. They gave DN74 4 unneeded kills. Come on, guys. There's $100 on the line.
Yeah.
This isn't a comp game. Please, for the love of Frost Esports, y'all let's focus.
Seems Unstable's focused up, able to get that first kill towards the top of middle, but 2 in return from the defensive side. Maybe this is Zenosyne trying to command that respect from the attackers as Jaw is not giving it to him, but they've got to give it to him. 1 by 1, they all fall down. It's DN74 who's doubled up on this round so far. Actually, OC on the other side of the Viper's pit, not able to get that kill. Frothy Philly makes it a first round for Zenosyne, and that one wasn't necessarily a troll round from the attacking side, other than the fact that Bandit bought a Bucky. But regardless, it wasn't really so much that they were not trying so hard. It just kind of felt like they weren't as coordinated there, probably because they weren't trying as hard. But it wasn't as obvious. It could have just been an honest mistake. We can't say for sure that they were not fully heads in the game in that round. You know, when there 3 of them are running at the last guy alive with knives, their heads are not fully in the game. But in a round like that, honestly, it just looks really solid for Zenosyne, and that could be a way into this game as a whole.
I have the spike. And it could be, but now they got a little bit of a split push over here. DN Chambers going to be the one with the first kill over near kitchen. Looks like the B site will be the target of attack for.
Where did he come from? Where did he come from?
Another. And now B site is under firm control, except for Tricks. Tricks might have a shot at stopping this push. There's Frothy Philly with a kill getting traded out, but then the trade out gets traded out by DN Viper. 2 versus 2, 1 minute to go. And the rotates coming in. They're going to have a free plant over at the A site.
Free plant barring any rotations, and, well, there are no rotations indeed. So 2 versus 2. Viper wall goes out for the attackers as Jaws No, they've got this to themselves. On my way, choosing to go aggressive in the post plant, but DN74 Viper gets that one. Snakebite goes out as well, trying to deny the plant. Does actually hit on the opposing Viper as well. Fragment out though, double OC does need to relocate. Still playing the inside of that Viper's pit well. It's just going to be navigating around it for the defense. Double OC, though, has the upper hand here. Can isolate these fights because of that extra vision. Oh, Double OC! Huge flick left to right, or right to left, rather. Double OC, what a play to get it to the 7-1. As just a fantastic clutch. The Viper's pit proves to be huge at the very end, and that extra vision makes all the difference, making it a 7th round for Jaws.
That is unreal. The clutch from Double OC inside the Viper's pit brings us to a scoreline of 7-1. Brazil fans of Frost, please look away. Do not look at the scoreline. Might trigger something we don't want to trigger.
I made that joke on a different Valorant cast, but because they weren't Rocket League players, they didn't understand. I didn't realize that was just a Rocket League thing. I thought that was an esports thing as a whole, but apparently Brazils are just not outside of Rocket League.
Oh, well, it's outside of Rocket League in a pretty big sport known across the world called football.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
aka
Okay. You know what I meant. In like, you know what I meant. Okay. Regardless. Talk about the post plan.
4v2. Aku makes it a 4 versus 1 as DN Chamber just runs right into his crosshair. And here's Tricks. Bucky in hand.
Player standing.
Or do you lose that one trick? He gets outgunned by a run and gun jumping Odin. That is unreal. Sometimes it's just not your day, man. It's okay. It's okay.
Sometimes it's just not your day is the only way you really can summarize that. Sometimes you just could have gotten more lucky, but the lucky Bucky does a really good job in that situation. As really good, nice little clean play. Odin.
3 Odins.
That kill. 3 Odins on this attack side. Yeah, 3 Odins. Vandal Phantom. So Bandit, Unstable, and On My Way are just running and gunning. Maybe not running too much considering how hard it is to run with an Odin in your hands, but they're definitely gunning. And they're not going to stop shooting until they get shot in the face, that's for darn sure. As they're going to move straight into this site. Good kill to start with for Frothy, but Aku and On My Way able to get one back each. Aku makes it 2. Tricks is able to get Double OC dead, so 2 versus 3 in the retake is DN74 on Chamber, and Tricks are still alive, but Tricks no longer alive, and it's DN74 with just a Sheriff. Might as well reload if you can. Showstopper popped for the attackers, as DN Chamber is still even for now. But, oh, okay, in the smokes. Oh, they're trolling again, but Bandit. 3 knife kills in 10 rounds. That is something to behold, and it could have been 4. But it wasn't, is that earlier attempted clutch from DN74. They nearly gave him another one. That was a clean shot at the start from DN74, all things considered, but the jet smokes just were too hard to work with. And Bandit, 3 out of the 14 kills for Bandit so far this game have been knives.
I believe that is something like I believe it's 1 in 5 or 1 in like 4.75. That is an outrageous amount of knife kills in a single game. 10 rounds in, already 3 knife kills out of 14 total kills. That is a pretty good percentage for knife kills. DN74, DN Chamber specifically, he knew what was going on. He peeked out and he immediately dipped away.
For reference, 21% of his kills have been knife kills.
Oh!
Strike down mid.
Just played it slow and played it quiet. And now Spike is down on the bottom of mid. 4 versus 2 in favor of
Last
the defense.
player
It's
standing.
Unstable and On My Way. Now it's going to be up to On My Way. 1 versus 4, Odin in hand, 150 in the health bar. This is going to be hard.
It is, in fact, going to be hard. Some might even say impossible, and now that he's been taken down by DN Chamber, it is literally impossible. But I found a really bad time to mention that stat, but just fun fact, 21% of Bandits' kills so far this game have been knives, which is, like, not normal. But, and they're winning 9-2. So, they were winning 9-1 before, when it was still 21%. But Bandit, not able to get any knives in that round, and as a whole, not too many kills to be found in general for the side of Jaws as Zenosyne get their second. Will they be able to make it 3, or will it be an unfortunate 10th and double digits for the side of Jaws as Zenosyne? It's been an unlucky defending half, and well, considering how well we know Jaws can play on their defensive halves of Icebox, I don't really like where this is going, at least for the time being.
Spike planted.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the last round of the half. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 retake. Bandit with the operator. He's clean on the shot, and Frothy Philly falls. Trix gets downed as well by On My Way. The res is still possible. It looks like he's resurrected. Down goes D in Chamber as well as Rack. And it is Viper, the last to fall. The headshot from Aku is enough. And it is going to be first round or first half double digits from Team Jaws.
Yeah, it's first half, able to get to 10. Now they're on the defensive side, which is typically favored in scenarios such as these. And, well, like I mentioned before, it's just, well, they were able to do, a really good job with their defensive half as well. So just overall, just not looking good. I don't really know how much analysis you can really give to a game where the other team has basically just started knifing all the time and is still absolutely popping heads. It's kind of tough. But if we see some rounds consecutive here for Zenosyne, might just be able to get back to you with that analysis in 3 to 7 business days, which in this case is probably more like 10 minutes. But regardless, we get into round number 13, first round after the swap. An Unstable starting out aggressive. This is a B-long push from Rack and a B-long hold for the entirety of Jaws.
Got a feeling if Zenosyne does not win this pistol
Spike is
round, this
down.
game is
Last
wrapped
player
because
standing.
the pistol
Spike
round
down, attacker
almost
spawn.
for sure gives them the second round, and they just gotta win one more. 1 versus 3, D and 74, D and Chamber specifically, looking to do something to keep this pistol round possible. Gets the shot through the wall, but it's 18 HP. He's got a ghost. There's just so much you can do. He gets the intel on Double OC. He sees his gun from around the corner. This round might be clutchable if Unstable was not exactly
okay.
where he is.
Oh,
They've
oh.
got a crossfire. Oh, Unstable. He's just
That's not the
running.
play.
He's not even shooting. He's just running around. He's trying to bait out the shots. And Double OC guns him down, puts him in the ground. 2 rounds away from the $70 prize pool, or the $70 portion of the prize pool.
Yeah, and at the very end there, not the most intelligent play from Unstable on low HP, going for a swing such as that. Basically saying, oh, if you want to kill me, you can. Just hit your shots. Even though you are that far away, still, with a ghost, in that scenario, with as low as Unstable was, could have been giving the isolated gunfights that DN74 Chamber was looking for in that situation. But instead now, Bandit going to try and get real aggressive to start off this next round. Unstable with 2. DN Chamber with 2 as well, but Trix and Rack are able to fight back. On My Way, though, still with a solid chance. Spectre in this round, Recon balled out. It's against the Marshal, so you're not looking likely in this situation, especially in the long-range engagements. Has gotten a little bit of tags, but it's definitely favoring Trix for the time being. Owl drone out, but the fragment out at the same time. Trix plays the audio, knows that On My Way can't move, and it's third round now for Zenosyne, as Jaws have been dominating so far, but Zenosyne, maybe this is the start of the miracle comeback.
It has to be. If you want a chance, that has to be the fire that is lit under your team. Because now they've got the guns advantage. They have a huge gun advantage. 3 Spectres, a Guardian, and a Bulldog, all heavy shields. Meanwhile, Team Jaws, Bucky, 2 Classics and Sheriffs, and a couple of light shields for him as well. This has to be the start of something great. Look at this, Unstable. Looking to find some kills, and he will.
One
There's Bandit
enemy
with
remaining.
Bucky as well. And that was probably the fastest round in Frost Esports history.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I don't think anything else could even come close to that. That was just a massacre. And, I mean, what more could you expect from a team like Jaws, who's just kind of been running at their problems and didn't have many guns in that round, against into Zenosyne with some decent weaponry and with the right positioning on the correct site. It's just kind of a massacre that's to be expected, sort of. You call that the Boston Massacre, the way 5 people died towards the end. I don't know what that analogy was. That was not a good analogy. Why did I say that? That was not good. That was not good. That was one of my worst. That was one of my worst. Oh my god. That was incredibly morbid. Star, just take it away. Is DN able to take OC down? I can't talk right now. I need to put myself on probation after that one.
Round number 16, and the sidekick is coming out. Bandit looking to
Spike
deny. Spike's gonna go down. It's gonna be a 3 versus 4 retake here. Some stuff is looking possible. I'm gonna think about that forever.
Last player standing.
I was just saying massacre a lot.
Oh my God!
Oh, unstable. Oh.
That was so close to match point. He just needed to be a little bit faster on the transition.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Because it was just like, I was just trying to explain my rationale, and then you just were like, oh my god. I'm just like, whoa. That was crazy. Okay. This cast has descended into nothingness in the same way that this game has descended into Bandit trying to max out the number of knife kills you can get in a single map, but hasn't been able to get too many in the past couple of rounds. It's a rush of the B site this time around, at least from the defenders, that is, and it's a rush to the A site for the attack, or at least maybe not a rush, but it's definitely an A push as DN on the chamber able to get one more. DN 74 chamber definitely outperforming his DN brother. Bandit able to get one with the knives out, but Frothy Philly trades onto On My Way, and Bandit is incredibly low on HP as well. Can't have more than 2 on that Jet as OOC. Still enough HP to get that kill on the rack, but not much left at the very end. Really needs these Marshall headshots, but the no-scope, all that it can do is tag Frothy Philly, not quite get the kill. And now it's advantage to Zenosyne into this retake. Bandit just playing the corner. Still has knives out, but sends him back for at least the time being. As they should definitely go for this. Not too much to lose here, especially because there's not too much in this round on Bandit, but it's just Bandit alive, able to get one knife out before Trix takes down Bandit. Also able to get that kill into Aku. Double at the end, and, well, 11-6. As, well, this, maybe Zenosyne either being given a comeback, or maybe we are actually witnessing a little bit of a comeback. Who knows? But Jaws definitely have the confidence to go for these aggressive plays, but based on the setup for the time being, I'm not anticipating another incredibly aggressive play. Hopefully they just start to really finish this game off, because, well, you don't like to see a team actually, after a little while it gets kind of old and you're like, all right guys, let's watch some real Valorant. I'm not really into seeing everybody push the same angle at the same time.
If I wanted to see that, I would just queue comp. I'm in bronze. It is terrible. just queue bronze. You'll be fine. You see unstable. Missing the shot.
Okay.
Eventually he does land it.
You will not
He gets
kill
traded
my
off,
ally.
and D in chambers gets resurrected. And now I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you have let your opposition
Out of
get
charges.
halfway to match point. You are not there at match point there, which that doesn't seem terrible, but with how big of a lead you had, you have to put your foot down at some point and start playing seriously again. Because now they have control over the B side. This round most likely going to be going to Zenosyne, and now they're 4 rounds away, and all of a sudden this game becomes real. Trix finds a double kill. It's all on Bandit to try to save this round, and they're just letting this comeback happen. At some point, they've got to snap out of it and play serious again. You don't want to hear it, but there's money on the line. There's a tournament on the line. There's quite a bit on the line here. You have to snap yourself back out of this meme mindset and back into the, okay, guys, let's win the tournament.
Yeah, that's really all that needed to be said. Look at it now. Within 4 rounds. I know you're on a match point, but this is still, like, you don't want to let it get this close in the situation where you were up 11-2 going into the defensive half, where last time on defense you only lost a bonus where you were playing with Spectres into rifles. Last time you played Icebox, that is. Maybe we just didn't get to see Zenosyne, and maybe they're just an incredibly good attacking team on Icebox, but something tells me that's not really that true. It has looked, at least so far, like 11-7, or 11-2 at the start of the half into 11-7 is mostly on this part of Jaws not really putting their 110% into this game, as OOC is trying to take some martial shots off the start of the round. Frothy Philly has gone down though, and Double OC nearly able to get that second one, but DN Chamber has been having themselves a map and continues it here, able to get 2 more kills. Advantage now
Spike planted.
to Zenosyne. Spike plant to Zenosyne. Unstable up high. Hasn't been looking incredibly stable with the shots so far today, but it's looking pretty clean in this round at least. Able to get tricks down. 3 versus 3. Trying to play into the pit as Unstable. Just taking blind shots. Paint shells go out. 3 versus 3 is going to be interesting, especially as On My Way able to make it a 3 versus 2, 3v1 now. It's just down to Rack, only able to get the 1 as the Viper's pit falls, and Aku and On My Way are able to stay alive to tell the tale of how they got a 12th round.
And that right there, that is the team Jaws that I remember on Icebox. On Icebox, on defense with that first map, you remember how good they were, how many rounds they were able to tag on and tag on. They can do that, but they were memeing for so long that we kind of forgot about it. Remember, map number 1 of the day against Toxic Tinas. Whenever they got onto defense, the game was wraps. They secured grand finals. Super simple.
Yeah, it's just going to be incredibly simple just like that, as they're on 5. They have a 5-round advantage with match point to boot, so Unstable, you're going to have to play very aggressive here to start this round off well, but they've got time to play with. They've got the next couple of rounds on their side, really, because, well, having such a significant advantage while hitting match point and knowing that you've kind of been trolling the past few rounds, and that's why they're even on match point to begin with, or rather, it took you so long to get onto match point to begin with, is going to give you that confidence, but this is not a very good start from the defense. Jaws lose 2 quickly. Bandit, though, is able to trade back with a double classic, quickly gets that second kill, but taken down from the side, not to mention the KO. Back on his feet is Rack able to get Bandit, but Aku does take down Rack, not to mention On My Way sends Trix back to the grave just after Trix was picked back up. On My Way catches Philly at a perfect time, and now 1 kill away. Can DN Viper save it with the first one? Now just watching lower, perfect position. Knows exactly where Aku's gonna come from. Needs to wait around the corner! DN 74 wins the 1v2. An 8th round now for Zenosyne, as it's not over yet. You can't quite take him down yet, Jaws. That's 12-8. You're still ahead by a lot, but still alive are Zenosyne.
They're not really even up by a lot. This is a 4-round game. This game is very, very winnable. And if Zenosyne comes back, Team Jaws are going to be kicking themselves forever. This is not one of these that you just let off in like maybe a couple of days, a couple of weeks. These stick with you throughout your team history. You don't shake these off. They have to get themselves under control, and they have to win out. This is an eco round, so this round is most likely going to Zenosyne, but you gotta get back onto that round winning train. Kill from Bandit. There's On My Way with the Cardi and a double kill. On My Way. 3 versus 2, and down goes On My Way. Eventually, he gets sprayed down through the box. 2 versus 2 site take here. 1 minute to go. Unstable, he's on with the zip line. And now it's a 1 versus 3. Unstable, you got to realize you're on the zip line. Your shots are not going to be accurate, and now it's a 1 versus 3 for Aku.
That is a tale of unfortunate scenarios from Unstable. It just gets caught in the wrong spot. Shot accuracy, not what it is on the ground. And of course, probably knows that, but was just hoping against hope that it was going to be able to find something, but in the end finds nothing at all. And now it's Zenosyne finding a 9th, especially considering the way Aku's playing this, not really going for much for retake. Actually, is trying to run straight through, almost able to catch DN Viper here. Paint shells go out as well. Has given up his position though, so you actually see a very passive approach being taken here for Zenosyne. They're just going to play the site. They're going to play the area they know that Aku's not coming from, or at the very least, if Aku comes from the area behind them, he's not really going to have as much time as you would like to win this out. It would just take way too long to get all the way around into defender spawn and then actually flank these players, but I'm not going to do it. Aku just going to go for the straight fight. Wins the straight fight into the tour de force, but with the Viper utility on the spike, it's just not going to work out. everybody gonna get the heck out of Dodge, as it's a ninth round for Zenosyne, and this has been quite the attacking half from them. As much as you can say the caveat of, oh, well, Jaws weren't really trying in the first few, this is a really good streak, and not to mention, only 3 rounds away. You can not try at the start, but if you're not able to wrap it up by the end, that's 100% on you.
That it is 100% on Team Jaws. They have nobody to blame for this but themselves because they memed way too hard. We also got a posture check in the
Posture
chat.
check.
Make sure happiness. Make sure that you are stretching your back and making sure that your posture's good. We gotta stay nice and straight for this possible last round. This is a bye round, very even. Bandit, of course, on a light shield and Vandal, so he's really the weakest link, but even then, he's not that weak. A headshot's going to kill him anyway. Here's Double OC's pushing up. DN74 is holding, and DN74 just has the better shot. Now it's a 5 versus 4. That opens up quite a bit of space towards the B site. And there is a Viper wall down, but there's no Viper to pop it up.
Yeah, for the time being, that Viper wall is going to be basically ineffective because no Sage, nothing to get those revives. And Knives out now for Bandit, gets that one. On my way, able to get another. Spike was planted for Zenosyne, but it might just be the end of the line here for Zenosyne. However, Rack is able to get one back onto unstable. 3 versus 3. Bandit pops the jet smoke. Cloudburst is going to allow that perfect opportunity at the spike defuse, but Rack's taking down almost everybody. Bandit alone, still alive. Not sure if he was even able to half it either. Just going to push straight out with the knives. These two players decently close, actually trying to play off one another, but they got halfway through. The Hunter's Fury, not in time though. He won it out. Barely. What a defuse for Bandit. Oh my, and that is an absolute Bandit play because he just stole the round away, stole the map, and stole that 70 bucks for Jaws. Wow. Bandit knows that he has the time, and if anyone was the one to save them, it would be Bandit. 26 and 18, the unstoppable Jet on Icebox, at least today. And I mean, I'm not even sure what to say anymore. It's been a night of Valorant, that's for sure. But wow, 11, 9, 13. I don't even know what numbers I'm saying anymore. 13 to 9 goes the score. Bandit with a fantastic game as well. 4 first bloods. It was 7 for DN74 Chamber, outperforming the other DN. But well, I mean, in that game, that brought the hype towards the end. I mean, maybe it was artificial hype because Jaws weren't trying too hard, but towards the end we had so many close rounds, clutch situations left and right, and Bandit, the key factor at the very end, winning that one out for Jaws. I hate to mention one player over and over again, but it's so hard to not just keep talking about that spike defeats at the end. That timing was so close.
Yeah, that was absolutely unreal. Team Jaws, they managed to hold on. They managed to survive. Somehow, some way, Team Jaws held on despite all the memes, despite all the throws. They managed to hold on. And by a what? By a Jet who said pros don't fake. He had it halved. The Hunter's Fury was popped, and he had it by a 10th of a second.
Oh, wow.
He had that defuse by a 10th of a second. If Sova popped that ult 1 second earlier, half a second earlier, 1/5 of a second later or earlier,
It's done.
this game would still be going.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Bandit had just enough time to get it done. And Team Jaws take the grand finals. They take the $70 and they take the tournament undefeated.
Yeah, that was huge. What a play at the very end there for Bandit. We can't stop mentioning it. Because, like you mentioned, it was so close to not working out. But regardless of how close it was, still, great play there. Bandit, we saw plenty of times where the confidence didn't really help them too much. The confidence was a little bit of an overconfidence thing, but when they sat down and they played their Valorant, Jaws were not really beatable. They didn't look beatable, that's for sure, especially not on Icebox when they were sitting there trying as hard as they can to play their Valorant. Jaws were playing out of their minds and absolutely deserved that one. Let it get a little close towards the end, but they still won, and that confidence was just enough to keep Bandit on that spike and win that game out at the very, very end. But speaking of the end, this is in fact the end of our broadcast tonight. It's been a fun, action-packed night of Valorant. I've had such a good time bringing it to all of you, and I know Starcoin Hero has as well. So he's actually over there. It's been a long one, but regardless. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, all right. Oh, we can't. Oh, all right. Well, I guess he's just gone. Okay. Well, thank you guys. This one was brought to you guys by Atrio, so go check out their products. Really good at helping people get sponsorships. Helping gamers with sponsorships. They helped us bring this tournament to life, so they got to be pretty cool. I know that for a fact. So Atrio, thanks for the help with bringing this one to life. Valorant, Whiteout Weekly Frost winners are Jaws, BIYJ. Oh, I don't think he realizes that I'm still rambling. Wow. All right. Well, we're gonna cut it here. Good night, everybody. Hope you have a good one. This has been a lot of fun. Happiness, Starcoin Hero. Goodbye.
We had a barbecue in San Tropez in May with some friends drinking booze, getting all loose. We drove the cars to the beach on the outside of the street, sat around a bonfire, eating marshmallows all night. We were young at the time, I know it, but you were so damn fine. Couldn't get you on my mind. We were young at the time, I know it, but I wanted something more than you. Cause you wanna be free for the summer, free for the summer, free for the sun. You wanna be free for the summer, free for the summer, free for the summer. Free for the summer. Summer at the beach in San Tropez. I was with my friends, you were by yourself. You came to hang out with me. When the summer reaches end, then I'm worth your attention. But I had enough playing this game with yours. We were young at the time, I know it, but you were so damn fine. Couldn't get you on my mind. We were young at the time, I know it, but I wanted something more than you. Cause you wanna be free for the summer, free for the summer, free for the sun. You wanna be free for the summer, free for the summer, free for the summer.